her call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's at work to Safe Haven. Attacking 12, check that one out.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 try to get shot.
Also still stands for talk? No. Offender in custody? Okay. Anyone else close? Wait a
Good evening. Good evening.
What's up, brother?
I hear like an echo. Hold on. Oh, maybe it's just me. What's going on? Give me 1 second. There we go. Good evening. Thank you for hopping in. Got a lot of stuff to get into tonight, as always. I do hear an echo. Hello?
Is it me? Let me see if I mute.
No. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I think it's the kitty cam.
She's so cute.
And she adorable.
Look how much she grew already.
Yep. Growing like a weed. What's up, Narc? I think you're muted, buddy.
Since you agreed, please consider.
Gosh.
All right, there we go. All right, we're good. What's up, buddy? What's up, everybody?
Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, you're good. I just got done feeding her, so I was running a little bit behind myself. But a lot to get into tonight. Thank you, everybody, for hopping in. Appreciate you. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. I want to give a contribution call out here real quick. And I got some some contribution to offer, I want to say, that's over at Narcs there. Hope Floats became a member. So thank you for becoming a member for Narcs over there.
Thank you all very much, by the way. Finally got memberships.
There you go, man. Yeah,
I didn't want to do it, but I just did $2.99.
Well, it's you get to offer something special for them. Live streams and all that stuff. We do members only live streams, just for the extra fam. And speaking of, as I've been going over my footage and some of the other cases that we talk about, there's a lot of people that haven't even seen a lot of it. And to be honest, I only upload maybe 10% of the footage that I have. And so I'm going to be opening up another tier coming here soon where I'm actually going to upload all of the videos, the 4K videos, the drone videos, everything, instead of me just kind of keeping them in the background and them not getting any use. I figure, why don't I just upload everything? So I'm going to come out with a new tier here soon where it'll just be all of the footage, the 4K, the drone. Delphi, Idaho 4, Micah, Riley Strain, Sebastian, Stephen Smith, a whole bunch of cases that I've covered, gone on location. I'm going to be dropping all of that stuff. It was actually crazy because when we were doing the Idaho 4 show, there was footage I forgot I even took that I was seeing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot I even took this stuff. So we'll be doing that coming soon. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
That's a really good idea. I don't want to steal what you're going to do, but that's a really good idea. Because I've got footage that I never used just because it's like trying to condense it down to where people actually want to see it. Then you'll have 4 hours of footage plus.
Yeah, right.
It'll only be 20 minutes worth, that you're going to release.
Yeah, so it's like, why not open an extra tier and then I'll just dump all my footage in there, and then, if it gets enough comments or something, then maybe I'll just, I'll go ahead and upload it, for everybody or something. Plus, one of the reasons we take footage when we do this stuff is so that way when we get back, we can kind of go through it and see if maybe there's something we didn't see or we might have missed, also. So I don't know. I was just sitting here thinking, I was looking at all my Sebastian footage earlier today, and I was just like, man, I have so much in this, and I have maybe just a couple videos of real footage up there, 4K. And I was like, man, I should just open up a new tier and just dump it all. Just dump it all. Just dump it.
You were there forever, man. So you've got to have a lot of footage.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of Sebastian, but just not only like Delphi, Idaho, Riley Strain. I mean, even the videos I took of going downtown Nashville, going to the dangerous neighborhood where he was walking to because of the confusion between a fitness club and a hotel. Just all that stuff. We did it at like 9-10 at night. And there was so many people that left the stream because they're like, I do not want to see something happen live. And it's like, it's all right, people. We're safe. But that's the kind of things you have to do. You know what I'm saying? When you have to bring awareness, just like it's like for diving, man, it's got to, it's not everybody can go down there. You know what I'm saying?
No, there's so many videos I've had where it's just pitch black. And I just like, what you went over is a really good idea, because there might be a 15-minute video that's just pitch black, and I could kind of go over, have it just separate, and just say what's going on, even though you can't see anything, kind of hear what's going on. But
yeah, and plus we'll be able to get plenty of more footage to come too, coming up here in the next few weeks. There's going to be a lot more footage to come beyond what is already sitting there in the vault. So, but speaking of Sebastian, what's up with Bullhorn Betty doing a no-show?
Where'd she no-show? I try not to follow the drama.
There was protection orders, restraining orders against her.
Did she not show up to court?
She finally got served. She was supposed to show up to court this morning. and she didn't even show up, which automatically goes into
Yeah,
default.
you get in your favor.
Yeah, like you didn't even show
Or
up
in
to
the
argue.
other person's favor. I would at least showed up and been like, look, like regardless of who's right and who's wrong, like if it was me and someone's trying to get a restraining order against me, like one, that looks very, very bad, especially with what we do. Not to mention if you're trying to have protection or something.
She can't talk. She can't
Yeah.
talk about the case no more.
It would really hinder what you're trying to do. So I would show up and be like, look, don't admit guilt, but just be like, I meant no harm to anyone. Just argue at least, even if you lose, at least present your side of it. Because I mean, if you don't, then you automatically lose. So it's like, what's the point? But
yeah, I would think you'd want to show up, you know, to try and fight it, because you're supposed to be part of the team. You're part of Seth's. You're part of Seth's team. You know, what are you supposed to do now? I don't know. I was shocked.
You can't contact. If there's a restraining order, you can't drive. Like, I don't know how what the footage is. Just every restraining order is a little bit different, but the basics, you can't contact them in any way. Like, I can't. If I was wanting to get a hold of Busby and he had a restraining order against me, I can't be like, yo, CJ, what's up with Busby? Like, there can't be any communication. You get in trouble.
I would so get a restraining order against you.
No, I'm just saying, like, an example.
Yeah.
Like,
From
that
what
way
I
people understand.
She's not supposed to come within 100 feet of her, is what I heard.
Oh, hold on a minute. Kib Kitty says she said her lawyer got her an extension. Oh.
I wouldn't want to drag it out.
Oh, she said her attorney didn't need to. Well, nice. That's nice if you don't even have to show up.
Yeah, that's what I heard, is her attorney told her she didn't need to come. So,
well, hell, I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just hearing this morning through the grapevine that she no-showed and it went in default. I was like, damn. Interesting. So we're going to get into a couple videos here real quick. Some that we watched before, I think just one, when it comes to Dog the Bounty Hunter, because I think what he says when it comes to this case is spot on. And we're going to show some local clips because a month or so ago, you know, there was that Sonar Seth video where they were narrowing the search and there was search updates, and it's like,
and then there was nothing.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Was objects of interest, and then it was just kind of like, no, there's nothing.
I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm going to touch more into the video game stuff because from our last episode, when it came to my theory and why I think that certain things weren't returned and how stuff might have went down, there's a lot of people that reached out and said, dude, I think you're spot on. Yep. I want to get more into the video game stuff just to explain a little more on that, what I mean by when it comes to the alibi. And if there's anybody that hasn't heard it before, you know, just let me know. I can go through it real quick. It's not that hard because I think when you look at the fact that there's no sign whatsoever, I think really, you know, after all this time, I really feel like this is really the only logical thing. Unless, like, let me know in chat, you guys. Do you think he was unalived? Do you think he was abducted? Or do you think he ran away? You know, type it in chat. What do you think? I think he was abducted.
Dude, so after, like, kind of discussing it and then going over like what we thought happened after we've searched the area and stuff, I won't mention other channels for this, but I finally was able to break down a video, and like I think their theory is wrong about what they're saying, but it shows a lot of things happening outside the house. I think a lot of people probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the flash or the flashlight video,
yeah,
whatever you want to
call it. The flashlight video.
Yeah.
Well, I seen like 3 separate little clips, I guess, or that. It's kind of hard whenever things are edited and cut and chopped and you don't know where the true beginning ending is. But after seeing it, I'm like, that pretty much matches what we were thinking. Except their theory was different. They're trying to blame other people, but I think
I mean, it does. I don't know. I'm looking at chat. Most of it's probably 70% unalived. Damn. And when it comes to that video, it is suspicious. but man, it's so hard to see.
You can see
super
the
hard
one
to-
I seen. You can see. I'm not gonna say what it is, but you can see something on the street.
Okay,
And then
so I'm gonna pull up Google Maps because this is where I think the video came from. You tell me if you think that's where it's at.
Okay.
Here, let me pull it up real quick.
And there's like flashlight. You ever like see a deer cam or a trail cam?
Yeah.
Like the old ones when they first
Yeah.
came out. It's just kind of like a glow, and you could see the deer coming up through the woods. Just kind of like
yeah.
like night vision. Well, like the flashlight from a distance, and then you can see it kind of like moving. It reminds me of that. So I'm like, it's definitely like someone with a flashlight, 150%. That is my opinion, like, you know what I mean? But just based off of what I'm seeing. And obviously, I don't know if it's edited video or not, but.
All right. Are you talking about the flashlight one or the one with the trucks in it?
The truck,
With
the truck,
all
the truck,
the-
and
all the
truck and
vehicles?
flashlight. Yeah.
All the vehicles? Because there was one. Okay, there was two spots. I was thinking it was either. Let me see. I think it was this one right here because when I looked at my footage, there was a camera. Which house was it? I think it was this one right here. Because I looked at my footage and there was a camera that was like right here or something.
So it would be.
Wait, no. Oh, it's been so long. I'd have to look at my. No, it was this house right here. This house had the camera. Now, it doesn't show a camera on Google, but on my footage, they have a camera.
Yeah.
And that is the garage of the Proudfoots right here. So if we're looking at this camera, I figure the view here, let me see. I think it was right here. Yeah. Okay. So this is where you would see the camera. We're going to turn directly around, and that's the view that you would have from the video. Okay.
That makes that looks about right. Give or
That's
take.
what I came down with. But you know,
But
I'm not.
The one I could see is like way back, and you can see.
Well, yeah, it
Yeah.
would be like this. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
maybe even like that, because we're still getting the view between these trees. There is the camera right there, and then directly across, it would probably give you like this,
That would make more sense, give or take.
something like that. So, what do you think? Okay.
It's hard to put together as far as like what comes first, because I don't know what. Because after something's edited and people are zooming in on it themselves and all that, it's kind of hard to know what's exactly what. But I don't know what came first: the vehicle, the flashlights, or both. And then other people's theories. It's kind of, I don't know. It's hard. You can't really tell who's who, but
Well, I mean, it could be a number of people, really.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not that clear. But the whole, like the timestamp, that's suspicious. The timestamp being stuck, just all this weird stuff. All this weird stuff. Who do you think? Do you think it was? Do you think he was lured out? And that was him, or what are you thinking with that, with the lights?
See, I only seen parts of the videos. Like the whole thing is not ever shown as the ones I've seen, which, it pisses me off. I wish you could just be like, hey, send me the full unedited video and let me look at it without cuts, like just the whole thing. But anyway, it's not going to happen. It's kind of hard to tell. In a sense, I kind of think it's him. It could be him. And then everyone else is saying it's someone else. I think he was lured out, and like ahead of time.
Like, as in lured out, as in somebody came in the house, or somebody?
No, like someone said, "Hey, man, meet me out here." Like I
knocked on the window, kind of like what we were thinking.
Yeah, that's
met
what
from the video games. Hey, buddy, I'll come there Sunday night. I'll come knock on your window.
With the electronics not being turned back over as far as the console.
Yeah.
And then there's something to that. I mean, police aren't just going to keep your stuff. They want to get rid of that, the chain of custody, and be like, look, it's turned over. They don't want to keep your property unless they absolutely have to. So like based on that, which is all theory and speculation, but based off of that, and then I seen like you could see the truck, and then you could see if like someone walking out with a flashlight. Now, granted, I don't know what came first, the truck, the flashlight, or who, but in my opinion, someone communicated with him ahead of time, and then he came out, give or take.
That's what I think too. I think that's the only reason why he'd come out there without shoes on, because he was too excited, and I think she passed out on the couch, and
that's what I mean. That makes sense.
All the doors being locked, that's the one thing that
none of the windows are open.
Right. All the windows are locked, the doors are locked.
Yep.
That's the one thing that is just like that. I don't that it doesn't match everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The one thing making that theory not 100%. As far as him walking out on his own.
I think he walked out on his own. I
do too.
I think that somebody knocked on his window and he ran to go meet him.
Are you talking about the flashlights? Supposed to be like when they're kind of going back and forth, or like not the flashlights, but
I'm talking about the fact that they stated that all the windows and doors were locked from the inside. I don't know how that can happen if he walked out the door.
I thought they had a push button one though.
Yeah, that is. It's a push. One of them is the lock where you can just hit the button from the outside. The keypad. You can just hit the lock button from the outside to lock the door as you're leaving. But why would he lock the door though? That's
right.
What I don't understand.
Yep.
Why would he lock the door?
I know I lived in it was a house, but I had 3 roommates, and we had a thing on our phone. You could lock it, like if you were gonna leave or whatever, you could get on the app, and then you could hit the button to lock it and unlock it. So I don't know. Maybe someone just said, "Hey, noticed it was unlocked," or I don't know if there's a timer on those, or if you can have a setting or something. But typically, it would always say locked. Like you would have to have it to get back in the house. Which I don't know if there's settings. I'm sure there's customization, like, hey, keep the door locked at all times if you go out or something. But that's just an opinion. I don't know. I would have to know the company that made that push button.
And here's the thing too, like when I came up with this map in the very beginning, this is, I don't know how old this thing is. March, end of March, I think. No, beginning of April. This map right here, this is the only way, it basically in this red right here, inside these red lines, is the only way that he could have left and not been on surveillance. I just didn't even bother finishing putting up the cameras right here, because I already knew, like, this whole street is surveilled too. I'm not going to waste my time with all the yellow. This right here is the only way that he could have left without getting caught on anybody's surveillance. And so if he really did leave by himself, I really feel like this would be the spot that there would be some kind of sign, because I don't see him venturing any further than that after the first night. I think if you're going to take off and run away, I think you're going to be hiding out in this area right here.
Yeah, at least you could see everybody.
At least for the first night.
From that vantage point, you could see like people looking for you too.
Yep, sure could.
So the locked door, not seen on anybody's doorbell cameras, security cameras, even the camera that had the flashlights. I don't know. I didn't see anybody walking. I just saw a couple lights. I don't know how to explain that. But it doesn't mean that it was him either. So,
right.
How? The door locked, and how do you not get caught on surveillance? So then when it comes to Seth's proof of life video that he requested. Well, the
Yeah, what?
proof of life video was from a restaurant before they even supposedly made it home.
Has anyone ever seen the restaurant video?
Well, when he came on my show, he came on my show, I think that was, what was it, guys? 5 weeks after he got that video, I think. So he said that he requested it, he had just got that video recently. And I asked him about it because I wanted to know, did he see anybody walking out with Katie and Sebastian?
Or following or lurking or anything like that?
Or following or lurking. He said he couldn't tell. He said he couldn't even tell what shoes he had on. That's according to the camera. He just knew he had on pair of pants and a shirt. But why would that be the proof of life video? Because if they got back when they said they did, don't you think that would have got on security camera as well?
Should have been.
You would think so. Even if it was a blur. You know what I mean? Like just you think it would have picked up something. The camera would have been like motion, record.
Yeah.
And even like off the middle of it or tail end of it.
That's the crazy part, because to me, I would think if you get footage from a restaurant, not only there might hopefully be something in the parking lot, but also inside. So when he comes on the show and he talks about how little he got to see of that footage when it comes to what the footage was showing, it literally wasn't much. His pants, his shirt, and I don't even think he got a front shot of him. I think it was when they were leaving.
That's weird.
And that's it. So the proof of life video is that.
Yeah,
so
not a whole lot of proof.
So when it comes to, like I said, if you're running away at least the first night, you're probably going here, and then you might miss everybody and you'll come back, or you're going to venture on and go either this way or this way, day 2 or 3. Okay, right here's going to be day 1. So the fact that there was no signs, because if there was a day 1, don't you think he would have maybe lost a sock? He would have left something behind as he went from day 1 to day 2. You think there was nothing. So then if there's not being caught on surveillance, all the doors and windows are locked, the proof of life video is the restaurant, well, then that says that something else took place. Because how do we even know that you made it home?
Yeah, that's what gets me.
Because if you're looking at the evidence, there's no sign. Again, there's no sign. There's no sign on any footage. And the proof of life is the restaurant. That's what I feel like. He's abducted. I feel like he's still alive. And I feel like it's why I brought up the 3 girls from Cleveland. There was, candlelight vigils every year for these missing girls. And all of a sudden, poof, they all come out of nowhere 10 years later. And we didn't even know they were all abducted together. These were all different abductions, And it's like, whoa. So that's what I feel. I feel like he was abducted. I feel like he's still alive. And I feel like one of these days it might be Elizabeth Smart. It
very well could be.
You know what I'm saying?
Best scenario.
That's what I feel. That's what I feel inside. But when I'm looking at, because you look at the evidence, even if he was abducted, how would the person, did the person do a sweep of the area before and knew who had cameras and who didn't, and knew where to be and where to be like, hey, we got to go this way,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, did the person come park over here? They come park over here? Or hell, did they park here? But I still don't see how they wouldn't have got on surveillance. because these houses have it. So how does he leave without being caught on surveillance?
He leaves without being caught if he never makes it home.
That's another theory that kind of sits there.
And that's true too.
Like, I don't want to think that, but
yep. I still am thinking several different scenarios because there's not enough information or evidence to say one way or the other.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing. That's why when they came out with these videos about their search updates and they're narrowing the search and all this stuff, it's just like, I wish there was a sign. I wish there was a sign. But that's the thing. The proof of life, what's here, it's like there is so many possibilities. He could be unalived. He could have been abducted. He could have ran away. They might never have made it home. Like, there's so many different, and that's the crazy part, because all that should be answered for the most part. You know what I mean?
Right.
It should be answered already.
If the proof of life had been sent and it was from the house at night, that night, it would be a completely different scenario. You know, we would at least know that he made it home. It would be known instead of speculation. And we would be able to at least another breadcrumb in a scenario. If that makes any sense.
No, it does, but it's 6 months.
Yeah.
It's 6 months. Give me 1 second. I want to do a contribution call out here real quick. I want to say thank you to Shelly W for gifting the 5 memberships. Let me call out. It looks like Majorie, Mythical, Nana, Warning Late. Hey, what's up, Nina? And Kim French. I didn't know you changed your channel name. Shout out. Appreciate you. Thank you. I don't know. There's just so much. And that's why, you know, I wanted to show that you had dropped a couple videos a little bit ago, Busby, and I kind of wanted to go through those real quick before we get into some of the other stuff for this evening.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and switch to those real quick, and then I'll drop the link. Hold on. Where did they go? There they are. All right. Which one do you want me to play first?
You can
the
do
part 1?
Recon part 1, yeah.
All right. So go ahead and explain to everybody.
I went back to Tennessee, unannounced, undercover, and just kind of did a recon on some things I was thinking about, and also wanted to see how things have changed since we were back there in April. I wanted to see how everything had changed. One of the theories right now is the bridge on I-40 that goes over the Tennessee River. A lot of people have concern over that, and it's an easy dump space for one of the scenarios. This is allegedly, I'm not making facts, okay? I don't know what happened, but this is a possibility. So this is one of the theories that I was going off of. That's the Tennessee River right there, and that has some swift flowing water through it.
Well, I mean, geez, we just seen, when was it, a day or two ago, or you guys had dropped something about, like, they found somebody, like, what, 3-4 hours away?
Right.
From, from that river, like they traveled that far.
Yeah.
And when it does, that's one thing you do hear about the Cumberland River and the rivers that are connected. in the area, like there's a lot of pull to that water. Just think of Riley Strain and some of the others. There's a
Yeah,
lot of pull to that water.
Riley was found like 8.5 miles downriver.
Yeah, yeah, it was somewhere around there. Yeah,
that was insane. But yeah, so this is just a theory that I had, and part one I actually talked through it.
Oh, okay. Here, let me see here. We'll play it here. So here's the link to the video.
Sorry, I was driving one-handed. This is Scuba Landing Road. Right here. Sorry, my lens must be dirty. Gives you an idea, though.
Turn left onto Cuba Marina Lane.
Turn left on a Cuba Marina Lane. Alright, I had to pause it because I went to Cuba Landing. There's a sign right there. You're talking about desolate. Nothing out here. Very thick woods. On this theory, I'm thinking about dumped. Woods.
Go ahead, man.
On this theory, I'm thinking about if he was dumped.
I don't need. What area is this, man?
This is I-40 going towards Memphis.
Oh, dang. Oh, you're
Right.
way down there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's up. It's past Dixon County, and I forget exactly what county it's in, but it's in the middle of nowhere. And then you cross over. If you get back on the interstate from this exit, you pretty much immediately cross over the Tennessee River. This is a marina that I've known about for years that is very secluded. And you'll see there's people that do live out there, but not many. And I literally was not even waved at whenever I was driving around.
So West Memphis?
Yes. Yeah, if you find
well,
a map,
why would I'm just curious why. So yeah, I got the map up right now.
it's
like
between,
how far?
It's between the house and his work. Just a scenario.
Okay. Oh, he worked in West Memphis?
He worked in Memphis at the construction site of St. Jude's.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm looking at the map right here because I have the map where it's got, different locations of interest.
Right.
And I got Yogi's pulled up, and I don't see them being on I-40 until outside of Memphis, northeast.
Yeah,
and there's
this is
plenty of places to.
It's on the way to Memphis from Hendersonville. It's not actually in Memphis.
So we're talking northeast.
We're talking about I-40 west.
Yeah, because that's why I was asking if it was West Memphis, because there's I-40 that keeps going west.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
So okay, so if we're like Lakeland, or actually right here, I would assume. Wait, is this a river? Wolf River?
No, it's not Wolf River. It's actually the Tennessee River. It's further down towards Nashville.
Oh, okay. You'll have to give me a city, man, so I know exactly.
Hang on just a second.
Let's see here. Go ahead and type it in back chat, and I'll get back to this video, and we'll let it play here. Yeah, I just want to pull up so that way everybody knows exactly where we're talking here.
Keep in mind, there was no gate to get back here. I just went straight through. I'm driving one-handed. Trail back through there.
Proceed to the route.
There's but a couple cars out here right now. Check this out. Bunch of big water.
Oh, so let me go back here a second. Let's go back to here. All right, so I pulled this up. All right, Sugar Tree. All right, let's see here, Sugar Tree.
That's the closest city to it.
All right. Oh, wow. So it's about halfway. Okay.
Right.
All right. So, okay. So Sugar Tree. And so this is right here. So Cuba Landing Marina. So basically right here. Let me add that. Let's add that. Let's get rid of Sugar Tree. All right. There we go. All right, Cubing Landa Marina. All right, so
see how it's right on top of the.
Yeah, so right there, there's the bird's eye. Now we're gonna switch back to this. All right, so we can see that when we're looking at this part straight ahead.
Hey, 1 second, man.
Yeah,
we got like. Let me find the handle. So, like, people are saying Lisa Ann 68, don't know nothing about them, but people are getting upset about what Lisa Ann 68 is saying. I'm trying to figure out something about someone being found, DNA, and then divers, and you'll see, and then who will be the dum-dum.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
You just said, please address the person in chat.
I mean, if they're being disrespectful, just boot them from your thing, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe it was on mine.
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, it was on mine.
Yeah, it's
My
on
bad.
your chat. No, you're fine.
It's like intertwined.
No,
Yeah,
you're good.
I'm not in there at the moment, Trey.
Yeah, you're good. I'm just.
Yeah, just have your live feed up and just boot them. She's probably already booted from us.
All right. She's gone. I can't handle what people are. I don't mind if people are talking about stuff, but not to go back and forth saying who's going to be stupid now. And then talking about DNA, and they know the divers that did something. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. So when we're looking at this and you can see the little extension coming off of that building, this is where we're at right here. Is that correct, Busby?
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to zoom back now that we know where we're at. Okay. So what is that theory that somebody got in their boat and like took off, or
they could have walked through the path and
over here
disposed of him, and it would have been in the Tennessee River, and he could have went a long ways.
This right here, the
Right.
old Cuba landing lane.
Yes.
So they would have instead went Sycamore Road.
Also, people are theorizing that he was dumped off the bridge. So that's the reason why I made this video.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at this now. I don't know how far you could go out, but I can see a lot of sand right there. I don't know if they would necessarily. What do you think, Trey? Do you think somebody would get caught on something in this area if they tried to?
Man, so for doing this as long as I have, I always think I get stuff narrowed down and possibilities and scenarios. I've seen it to where the current's moving, someone goes in, and they're right there. Well, like underneath the current, like right there. Yeah. And I've also seen it where the current looks like it's moving, but the other day I found a animal in the river, and the current was moving, and like if I would have put the boat in neutral, I'd have kept on going. But for whatever reason, the animal that was floating on top of the river wasn't going anywhere, just sitting right there, and there's like nothing to get hung up on. So, dude,
that is a lot of water.
There's never a straight answer on that, but yeah, you can definitely get hung up on stuff. It just kind of depends. It's like an open-ended answer.
When I was on the bridge, I don't believe there's enough room for an RV or anything to really pull over.
Yeah, no.
And
not even a car.
I-40 has traveled so much. It's considered to be the most traveled interstate in America.
Hey, Busby, is that guardrail really that low?
Like, yes.
That's scary low.
Yeah,
that is scary low. You could like lose your balance and fall over.
Well, I mean, even driving, like you could.
Whoa, yeah, that
go over the edge.
Trey, it's just a regular concrete barrier.
So just a normal. Oh wow, most bridges like
3 maybe 4 feet tall.
Oh my lord, that is.
But the median's taller.
Yeah.
That's weird. Usually if they're like that, they'll have the things going over the top, like extended.
Yeah, so I haven't been back here in years, several years. So I wanted to see, this is literally 2.9 miles off the interstate. Is this location? And there's no gate to it.
So it's open all the time?
All the time.
I think I asked you, was there a camera at the boat ramp?
It was not facing towards the boat ramp.
Right. I think you said that.
It was facing towards the actual docks.
Okay. So they wouldn't see if anybody pulled up there or not.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised there wouldn't be any on the parking lot there.
There was one that was on the restaurant itself, or the office, whatever you want to call it, but not actually on the parking lot itself that I saw.
With it being open 24, that's scary, especially if you're out there at 3 a.m. and you're going to go fishing or something.
Right.
Jeez, I don't know about that.
You understand why it was a concern of mine. I couldn't remember if it had a gate on it or not. So I went back to look.
What do you think? He was taken down there? Do you feel like stepdaddy had something to do with it or something?
Theorizing different theories. Reading
Because this is on the way to, you know.
Yeah. There's something that he said in an early on video that has stuck with me for 6 months. And he said, "I'm just protecting my wife."
Yeah, but like in context.
He just said that in a video, and I don't remember which one it was, but I've watched several on this case. And that just stuck with me. Because you do anything for your wife if she needed help.
Up to, like, from my perspective, up to a point. But yeah, there's some people that are ride or die. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on that relationship.
Day 7, I thought that. You know what I mean? I really did. And honestly, if you're going to search on land and not on water, then I think that those are good areas to search, is along that route.
I mean, yeah, and like right now, considering we don't have anything, I'm open for almost anything. Almost.
I mean, in most missing persons cases, when there's nothing and they have not been found a long time, a lot of times it's in water, right?
And a lot of times, because the water holds vehicles in 4 foot water. Water holds vehicles in 4 foot of water. So it'd be easy.
Water also holds down things that have been weighted too.
And people know, like, I think it's common sense too. Like, if you're trying to get rid of a pew, there's certain bodies of water that it would never be found, no matter what. Like the river. If I was gonna, I shouldn't say that. If I was gonna get rid of something like that, there's certain rivers that I would. You're not gonna be found. There's
twice the width of the Cumberland River.
It will look like the Mississippi River, so I mean it's probably pretty bad.
Yeah, it's huge. So it's just a theory, something that I've seen a lot of people ask questions about, and I didn't really know the answer to, because it's been a long time since I've been there. I mean, I've traveled over this bridge every time I go to Nashville to look for Sebastian. But this is the time that I actually stopped and did the video.
How many hours is it from like their house to there? Roughly.
An hour and 45 minutes.
Is there like any other, besides the obvious, is there any other like bodies of water between the Cuba landing?
There is a lot of gullies and hills.
Yeah.
There is a lot of woods between their house and there. This is the first body of water outside of Nashville.
So there's the map that goes from their address to that marina right there.
It's about an hour, 28 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
it's hard to. My grandpa always had this thing. He says you don't do certain things where you eat. So,
right.
I'm trying to stay open-minded and not get any more tunnel vision than what I already have.
Yeah.
So I know it's one of the theories that hasn't been disproven yet. You know, as far as public goes.
I mean, if it was right there, like that, where it's pulled up now, could you see if the water was like churning or pulling in and out at all?
It's actually flowing towards the river. from
so it's flowing away from the boat ramp.
Right, from that slough.
So it's like it kind of pulls it out. Okay.
Right. And this is just when I first get there. I go all the way back around in there. You'll see it.
Oh, just keep playing it?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
All right, 1 second.
Thank you. Bunch of big water.
Just different. What made you take the picture of that?
When I seen that too, I was like,
what made you take the picture of that?
You're muted, Busby, if you're talking.
It's a way of getting rid of something you don't want found. I mean, there was a lot of it talked about around their house.
You know, sometimes the obvious isn't so obvious, and then
Right.
I'm not saying this is like the spot or anything like that, but like my stepdad used to be a manager of a landfill, and I know that one landfill has been searched, but it's a pretty big operation. I didn't work at the landfill ever, but as far as like layers, depending on how it's set up, there used to be like a spot to where all the trash from all over, like early in the morning, semis would be rolling up, and they would all just dump, and it's almost the same spot. And then a skid steer or something would push it, and they would either that way, or like they have it in the area where they're going to put back, not bags, but like layer it. So
Right.
depending on how much work they got done, I mean, landfills are huge.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't imagine.
People have already stated.
And they're already being packed down as soon as it's there.
I don't know the science behind it, but I've seen it done when I was a kid, and it's a massive operation. And to interrupt that operation would be kind of hard to keep doing. That's just my opinion. Like, just kind of like from perspective.
Right.
Kind of depends on the landfill. That'd be a information to see, just roughly be like, how many trucks do you have come in here a day? Because they're usually lined up. But I think it would be impossible to actually search the entire landfill.
Oh, yeah. Especially even right now. I can't imagine what it would take.
They have like logs, like data as far as like trucking company, weight, and then probably the spot that it was dumped. But other than that,
but 6 months has gone by.
That's what I mean. Oh, dude,
you see how long and how intricate the operations are just from somebody that's only missing 2 weeks.
And sometimes those layers catch fire.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the one that it's been popping up. Yeah, they were found. I forgot who that was, but it could have easily been missed. And I don't think bringing in dogs and a crew, like needle in a haystack, literally.
That's what sucks about back to the beginning about how there's no sign whatsoever and how it could be the proof of life to not being on security leaving to no sign around there of him. And then wouldn't it be nice if this was searched? But it's like, nice. Geez, what's the signs that lead to that too?
Well, didn't the garbage man say something about it felt different or heavy or something?
Right.
Or there was something off about it.
Garbage felt heavier than normal.
Yeah. Which, if it was 100 pounds different, though, wouldn't you be like, something's up?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why they searched, they got the warrant to search it, which, I mean, now there's talk about the different landfills or whatever. I don't live there. I don't know what's what. But I'd assume that they went after the right company when it came to,
that should be cut and dry. There's
what I mean?
Logs of that.
Yeah. Especially with it being the next day, and then just a couple days after that.
Yeah, they went to the Kentucky landfill because garbage containers residential goes to the transfer station there, and the commercial goes straight to the landfill.
Heather says, "Why wouldn't they open it if it felt heavy?" My nosy ass would. I probably would too, right?
I would, make sure there's not some
Right?
bricks or some
Right. I'd be
something,
like,
or
what the hell did they, what they got packing in here?
Right.
I don't know. That is, I probably would, but they're automatic garbage.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Wow.
They have the,
Okay,
so-
well then where'd that come from then? If they're automatic, how would you
Most-
know how heavy it is? Does it tell you the weight when you're picking it up? Like, oh, that's
That's new.
39.7 pounds, Bob.
That's new technology. They got the claw that comes out.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't have a scale on it, right? So Bob and Jack can have bets on everybody's trash and how much it weighs.
There might be a sensor because it's hydraulic. It might be able to figure out how much. I don't know. That'd be something to ask them.
What do you think it is, Bob? I don't know, Jimmy. I think it's 39.7. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out. Here we go, Jimmy.
Well, they don't really charge you by the pound if you're
I don't know.
residential.
I don't know. But
from what I read early on, people that live in the area have said that it was not an armed trash truck, that it was a manual. A person rides in the back of it and sticks every can in there.
So is it I could have swore we seen the plastic totes when we were in that neighborhood.
The plastic
like the trash cans, the big old plastic totes.
Yeah, they're 96-gallon cans, and the person puts them on the back of the
like that.
Yeah, puts it on the back, and the machine picks it up and dumps it in.
Has a cable, but they have to manually roll it over there.
Right.
Okay, I've seen those.
Instead of the arm coming out and grabbing it.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know.
So yeah,
I need to know for sure.
It wouldn't be. I don't think it would. They would have the weight.
Yeah, that was early on that I was hearing about that.
Activity said the neighbor said it's electronic. But is it one of those like Busby says where they have to bring it out?
I've seen both. Claw, and then the one where the dude rolls it over, hook, and then
I'd like to know for sure. I don't know.
I don't either.
I'm not from there, so I don't know how the trash works.
I can find out.
I'd like to know though, because
Busby, it is weird that you're far away, and we're thinking he's going in the water. Someone at this scenario, someone possibly put him in the water, and then you're out of all the trash cans and the landfill being searched, you just happen to show this one. Even that stuck out to me when I first watched this video.
Right.
Like, for some reason, you filmed that. Like, obviously, for this reason, but out of all the dumpsters from between there and the landing, I don't know.
That is not including the ones that are at the 18-wheeler pull-off rest areas on I-40. They've also got them on there. There's 2 dumpsters on each pull-off.
It's almost like a sign.
Right. And I also stopped and kind of looked around every rest area on the way.
There's so many possibilities at this point.
I mean, there is. You could search all up and down I-40.
Right.
So yeah, I was just curious with the garbage truck or the garbage. I just was like, oh, that's interesting, man. I wonder why you put that there.
My brain works weird.
No, you're good. So this is just more shots of. It looks like it's got a pretty decent current.
There's the mouth to the Tennessee River.
Yeah, that's where it goes into the Tennessee River through the trees right there.
It goes under that bridge.
I don't remember if I zoomed in or not so you could see the current.
All that water. So this is a good spot if you want to do a dump, in my opinion.
Pause it for a second. So the water I just showed you is if you drove past the docks right here and you went on around where there's no cameras and the parking lot ends, is where I was at.
Oh, on
Oh,
around.
so-
I got you.
Oh, so right here.
Yeah, all the way around there. See where that last car is on the right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was looking through at.
Wow, you got parking lot all the way back here too.
I didn't even notice that the first
I
time.
didn't either.
Yep.
I just thought it was right here. Yeah.
And that is away from the dock that all the big boats that people stay on is living at.
Dang, there's parking it's all down that road, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, people actually live. That's like my buddy's marina. So yeah, people were coming and going. No one's gonna.
Nobody was coming and going. I've seen one guy on his boat,
Okay.
and he was fixing it up, and it was a houseboat.
I just meant like if someone was driving through at 3 a.m., it probably wouldn't be out of the norm.
Nobody stared at me. Nobody looked at me. Nobody waved. Didn't even acknowledge my existence. And I'm backing up and driving through again and paid no attention.
What time did you go? What time was that?
It was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
I wonder how empty it is at night. How far is that?
That was Friday afternoon,
Let's see.
about 5:30.
Well, shoot, it ain't going nowhere if you come out here. It's just gonna hang out in there eventually. So
Right,
it would have to be up here.
Has anybody checked that area though?
Oh, I doubt it, man.
Not
That's
that I
so
know
far
of.
away from.
I didn't see one boat on the water.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt it, dude. It's an hour and a half. You know.
Yep.
I think
right outside that 5-mile radius.
I don't even think their searches went in through Nashville, to be honest with you.
Nope. As far as I know, they haven't.
But that's the thing. It's like you just need some kind of direction, you know.
That's the hard part. There is no direction. Not
There's
true
not.
direction.
No, not
A
from what they
sighting,
say.
clothing, something.
Mm-mm.
Even anyway, video, true video, cut and dry. Where you're like, that's him for sure.
Right.
Let's see here. So with the part 2, let's see. You drove back to Hendersonville
Correct.
just to show what changed, and then you went
Right.
by the high school, and then through the neighborhood. Correct.
Yeah, I didn't go through their neighborhood. I went to where the construction site is.
Where we were all at when we went there.
Right, to show you how
Cool.
different it is.
Okay. All right, hold on. We'll go ahead and check this one out too.
Just when you thought we were going to stop and go away and stop searching for Sebastian,
You're scaring me, bro.
we will.
That voice in the way you got that pick set up, bro. It's like,
Look at my eyes.
Just when you thought
you're like,
we were
yo,
going to stop.
stern message, stern look.
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. I was
Oh,
pissed.
I know. You were pissed.
Yeah.
Why? What's up? Talk to us, Busby. What happened? What's going on?
It's
What's up?
pissing me off that we can't find this kid in a place that I know very well.
You get a point.
You know, and he's disabled, like I said before. He's disabled. I'm disabled. It's just a thing that I have that I'm like, I'm not going to quit looking for him until somebody finds him.
I get it, man. I mean, I think that's why we're all still talking about it, and we're going to continue to do some more work here soon.
You know, usually it's one of those, man. It is hard, Busby.
You care. Yeah, you care.
Yeah.
And look, I have on a camo hat instead of my Bucky's hat, so nobody can recognize me.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Busby? I just see a car seat.
And I grew my facial hair out, but I didn't show you that part.
You know, I was thinking about growing a beard again. I don't know.
Dude,
I thought
give me a
about it.
week and I can grow a full beard.
Oh yeah, same here, man. I love the clean shave, man.
I can't do the beard.
Yeah,
I've tried
days,
and it too much.
Yeah, the last
if you
couple
want to
days.
blend in Tennessee, you wear camo and don't shave.
Well, I'm complete opposite then.
Just
'cause
wait,
I don't
there's
wear
more.
camo and I shave. But I got my cowboy boots. You know,
If
that.
you got what I sent you, the camo.
Oh,
It's camo now. So.
Oh yeah, I saw that, man, dude. I was like, nice.
Yeah.
It looks good, man. I like it. It looks good.
yeah.
Go duck hunting.
Roof, roof. All right, here we go.
I wouldn't think twice about looking at you.
Exactly.
Where'd you go? No, we're good.
Be like, hey, you going hunting?
Well, yep.
Well, I do have a camo vest, to wear on the boat. So I got a little bit of camo. It's like when it's, St. Patrick's Day and you're not wearing green on the outside. You just make sure you got green undies and you're good. It's all good. Just a little something. It counts.
Just when you thought we were going to stop and go away and stop searching for Sebastian, we will continue to search for him until we find Sebastian or find answers that lead to Sebastian.
So I don't talk through this entire video.
All right. Well, talk to us
this is going up the main road to where it's the subdivision next to their subdivision, the main entrance. You go straight up that road. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Basically, we parked where that porta potty is.
Right, and the porta potty's still there.
Isn't that crazy? I know. When I seen this video, dude,
weird.
I was like, because when we were there, it looked like a lot of things were happening, and you know how quick stuff gets built here. Like 2 weeks later, all of a sudden there's like a development. You're like, holy crap. When I saw this video, when did you do this here, man? A couple days ago. When I saw this video, that's one thing that I was shocked. I was like, holy crap, it doesn't even look that much different than when we were there before. I was really shocked.
No, but there are some differences. Remember the houses that were being built and all we saw were the foundations?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch this.
Because it was a huge area.
Yeah. So right here is where the gravel started last time.
Yep. That's where there was gravel. This was kind of empty because other people would park their vehicles here. There'd be vehicles parked here too.
Right. See how flat it is now? You don't have to go up that hill. Those are the houses.
Oh, yeah. Those
are the houses right there that we saw the foundations on in April.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, they level it out. But right.
Wow, they did.
There.
Wait, you see the dirt bound. That's not.
Oh, yeah, and there's a road that's going up there now, too.
All paved with curves.
Huh. And then I remember, because that right there was a huge slope down. I mean, huge slope downhill.
Yep.
Right there.
And right there, those were the houses right there that all we saw were the foundations back in April.
Wow. Wow. They must go slow. Because 6 months or 4 months ago,
They're not selling like hotcakes like they thought they were.
yeah.
Probably especially now.
So I'm about to turn on this road where those foundations were in April. Look at this. There's a
Yeah, I remember.
playground.
Yeah, we were at that playground. That's where we ended one of the days, was at that
Yep.
playground.
That playground always got me, Busby, because I was like, do you ever come over here and just play? Like,
I wished I knew.
Wow, that is pretty level.
yeah, they used to be. Oh, yeah, that's where I got stuck.
Yep.
I started going down to search that little thing. It got soft.
Remember that road we're fixing to turn on didn't connect to anything. So I'm going back around to where the retention pond is.
That's a crap road already.
It's a blacktop. There's the porta potty.
And then retention pond straight ahead.
Yep, watching the video, I actually mentioned it.
There it is right there.
Retention pond.
Yep. There's the retention pond. Then the fence, that looks the same as it did before between that and the cemetery.
Still see the cemetery. Now, was that fire hydrant there? I don't remember.
I think it... Hold on. I thought it... I could look at my old footage, but I'm pretty sure it was.
I've got a photo from back. I got photos from back then.
I think it was.
I didn't include them in the video.
Yeah, I'd have to look at mine, but I thought it was.
Remember, that was all rough dirt right through there because I couldn't get up to see you guys in the pond.
And there's another little pond back down over here too.
Yeah, and the
there's like a pool.
Yeah.
So remember how this was all uphill?
Yeah.
Yep, gravel and dirt.
Yep. Check out the blacktop and the curbs.
Does that road connect to or does it just dead end?
It'll show you. It goes up and around to where we originally parked the first time when we were with other people.
Yeah, on the other side.
And yeah. I've got my camera kind of to the right because I wanted to show all the... Look, this goes up and around. There's that tree line. Sorry, I was giving anybody motion sickness.
No, you're fine.
So that was like a little cul-de-sac. And then it goes back. That's where they're actually working right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a whole bunch of stuff
that
going on.
is Sebastian's neighborhood down there. And there's the retention pond. So then if you keep going back around, it'll show you where we originally came back in. Now keep in mind, this is all on the construction site where they had no roads. So I'm going to go to the right here in just a minute. And then I'm going to take another right. Oh, I show you the retention pond. Look how dried up that thing
Whoa,
is.
Super dry.
That is dried up. Holy crap. Where's the drain?
And
right
stop.
there. Whoa.
Can you zoom in on that drain at all? I wasn't able to.
I mean, I can take a screenshot and zoom in,
Yeah.
but
Hey, Busby.
The
drain that's on the, like, I guess this side of the camera. Remember the one where the water came out?
Yeah, to the left.
Is that covered up?
It's covered up in mud right now.
Or
and there's got to be, dude. You remember how much mud was in there already? I bet you that thing is full of frickin' mud, dude.
That's the drain that drains it into the pond. Remember the concrete drain you looked in, Trey?
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it's over to the side.
So
I'm wondering where that water's going.
That
like how it's getting over there.
It's got to go down to the other.
Yeah, but sorry. Like the drain that was draining into this retention pond and then draining into that drain, it's still covered, and then this is all dried up. So like,
right.
I was just curious if they put a pipe or something to that and like diverted that retention pond.
Yeah, there's no telling.
I think I think they diverted it to that other pond, dude. I think that's
the other one.
Yeah, because with
the
slope of this land right here, it continues to slope down into that pond.
It'd be more of a direct shot, get away from that guy's house.
Right.
Yeah.
So it goes around. They got the drains right here, so it doesn't hit the cemetery. See how close it is? And then it redirects it because those drains that go down go to our left. If we're looking at, from here, it goes to the left and then down. That's why I think there's another pond that was created, slightly further down. That was in between this one and the other pond. Man. Here, let me do a zoom in real quick. Let me see here. Okay. So let's see, where's it at? Okay, so right here.
Yep.
Okay, so right here, we're coming back over here, and so this right here, okay? So right there's the retention pond. Then there's another little one back here before you get
to the cemetery.
to this one. And see this line right here? I think that's part of it.
It is. There's like the drainage and there's rocks.
Here's the cemetery. And then I think all of that is meant to drain right into here. But there was an overflow here, which made that little teeny one. That's the one that I fell down in.
Yeah, I remember
when I fell. Yeah, when I fell. Man, that's got to be, dude. That's got to be so full of mud in that other one, man.
Yeah,
I bet it's compact as heck. Or compacted.
Good luck.
I didn't go into the cemetery one this time.
They changed the whole layout
because we already looked through that, or you guys did.
No, yeah, it's been
here. I can
4 months.
I can pull up some video here.
What I was going to say was that concrete drain that Trey looked in last time.
Because that was full of muck too.
Yeah, but
yeah, I got video of it. I'll play it here.
Remember the grate?
Yeah, it was open.
It's still open.
All those need like bolted down and locked or something.
Yeah, it's still open. Like a small child could get through there.
Well, I hate to say it like this, but as far as like, well, it wasn't raining and stuff that during that time, but like pressure and pipes and all that.
Yep.
Things tend to find their way through those.
Well, we've all thought of the drains are still not searched as far as we know.
Yeah, I can't confirm that at all.
You know, and that's been a concern. You know,
I'm trying to find the videos. Because I took videos of all the drains inside. I even got low down and stuck my hand in that one.
Right. That was back in April, early April, I think. I remember.
Like the 16th or something?
Yeah, somewhere around right there.
Well, here I'll look and I'll let this one play some more here. I'll look for that footage here, see if I can find it here. All right, so this is the man. I can't believe it's that dried up. That's so crazy.
It changes the whole layout.
I mean, it's dry and hot there right now, ain't it? I mean, shoot, it's like what, 100 degrees there?
There should be less water, but yeah,
that's crazy.
I just don't know about that. You don't know until you know. But you have to remove pipes to divert that or not, or change how they actually reconnected stuff.
That's crazy. I can't believe it's that freaking dried up.
Yeah, because remember there's like a muddy soup bowl.
Yeah, it's hard telling. I just have I don't know what's what. They're all just file numbers. Got so much. I might have actually uploaded it as a video. Yeah, I don't. Let me see. Maybe it was here. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
You're good. We know.
What did that say?
I don't know what it said. Went by pretty quick. I think it says where we something.
We were where we were in April. What'd they do? Lay a tree down there on purpose or something?
Probably just keep people from driving through. Look like a pole.
Sorry, I didn't realize my mute button was on.
Oh, you're good. What was it? What were we saying?
That was a pole. A pole they laid down across the street where nobody could get in it.
Whose car is that?
One of the workers, I think.
Okay.
Is that the white?
Yeah, there's a drain. Oh, is that open?
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it doesn't have a cover on it.
Jeez Louise.
What the hell, man?
Just wide open.
There was a lot of them like that.
They.
I'd have thought they'd have those fixed.
Yeah.
What the hell? What they do is they just lay lay something on it. Yeah, that's it.
There should be a grate that's locked, but
wow. Imagine if a dog's out there running and just bloop falls right in there. Man. And then when you fall down in there, you got 1 in 4 chance of hitting a concrete tube because they're in all different directions when you fall in there too. There ain't much room in there. A couple feet by a couple feet square. And then 4 tubes.
Yeah, I sent you a video in our chat of when we were there back in April. It's only 45 seconds long. It shows Trey searching it.
Oh, yeah, here. Hold on
Everybody keeps mentioning the mannequin, so I had to add it to the video.
You know, I don't think. Well, I might have seen it before your video. I don't remember. It was like irrelevant at that point.
In the window. It's creepy as shit. It's on Long Hollow.
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, I do a lot of driving all over, and there's like people that like put mannequins on chairs sitting outside.
Yeah,
it's creepy as hell, dude. But you kind of laugh at it too because you're like, "Whoa, oh my gosh!" It's a good joke. It's a good laugh.
The first time I went by it, I thought it was a real person.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
I was doing 50 miles an hour when I went by it, but
yeah, you do a double take. Yeah, here. I do. It's on. I don't have the ones loaded where I put like my camera inside the drain. I'll have to actually. Again, I'm gonna make a new tier where I literally just drop it, file number, whatever. You guys can have it. You guys can see it. Here's one of my videos that shows what it used to look like here. So here's the link for this.
Oh man,
on it. Yeah.
Oh, it's totally different.
Well, this is from my GoPro 4K. Here, let me switch it up here. Let's go to the side.
It's funny, I took the same video.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got the GoPro. There's so many videos. I think like one day I'm just gonna upload each folder at a time, and then there'll just be a bunch of footage. But that's what it used to look like. The drain that we were talking about, see that concrete to the left, all the way to the left? That's the drain that we were talking about. It goes in from the side too. So there's an overflow drain, which is to the back, and then there's the regular drain, which is to the left.
So they kind of like got rid of that levee part, didn't they, Busby?
That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like to me. Either that or it was under mud. I don't know. Like
it just kept on coming?
Right.
That would make sense.
I mean, they're moving a lot of dirt.
Yeah, but then this looks...
That would be covered up.
Yeah, that looks the same as it does in your video. Did you still see the same, remember? Because it's got that piece of wood covering it.
Yeah.
Like, why is there a piece of wood covering it? Because you should
that was
look at that in the first place. Didn't make sense. To me, it looks the same as it does in your video, so we should have been able to see that because that's a lot of cement right there.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's a lot of cement.
I didn't see it, but could have missed it. Also,
it could have been just the angle with the
how much
dirt.
water was back in April as opposed to what's in there right now is just insane. I mean, if Trey were to try to walk it right now, it'd probably be 4 foot of mud.
Oh yeah, and it's
Well, I think what happened is just the water evaporated because if you look at, like, if you go off the mud, it was pretty up there, man, and it looks like it's almost a lot of just surface water.
Well,
Like
remember,
maybe there might be 6 inches in some spots, but the way that it dried and what I see, like, because look, this is straight mud with no water on
dude, that
top
was so
of it.
thick.
Right there. So really, there's not that much water in there. I think it's more of a reflection that's given it the appearance.
The
that there's
illusion.
a lot, yeah. Because it was pretty full of mud, dude. I mean, it was up to your freaking kneecaps, above it almost.
It just depends on where you're standing.
Yeah. It does look different though. But you can see him. This is regular time. You can watch like how slow he had to walk through it. It was that. It had to be like quicksand, man.
It was nasty. It would hurt your knees and ankles and twists and stuff. It'd have been. I could have searched this 10 times faster if it was full of water.
This was
on a grid.
Let's see. I did this April 13th is when we took this video. This is 1 of 2.
Yeah, there's my magnet fishing rope we were using.
I bet that was terrible.
The grid search. And you were stepping and then pushing down through the mud too.
Well, that's why it was like combination of stuff. Like for one, that could hide somebody, especially if it had water in it.
Right.
And then they drained it, so the pressure and then everything would kind of harden up like it did. So it was like I had to be very slow with every step because God forbid you know what I mean. You step on something, so it was more of a try to shift your feet and then go. But it was just a slow process.
We
were there for what, 3 hours?
It was a while. Just feel like feels like a waste of time, but
no,
dude, because we didn't find them. But
that's where you found that hat.
Yeah, right over there. Wasn't it right over there?
It was like
right by that white dot in the grass.
Yeah, give or take. But it was out a ways. When I did that walk around, I was like, yeah, it's just another flower thing. And then after I looked again, I was like, it looks like a hat.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was when we first pulled up. I seen it, but I didn't know what it was. And then you pulled that hat out, and my freaking heart stopped.
Well, I mean, when I heard the company, I mean, I had always heard up until that point it was Brinks that she was affiliated with. So
yeah, well,
when I heard the company, I was
yeah, Vivian.
Yeah, I was thinking if it was Brinks, yikes.
Yeah.
Vivian, I was like, I don't know.
Well, Vivian's another security company. And
yeah.
They got the hat from like a whatever. But
yeah, I know. We were all in talks when all that happened. That's just what was going through my mind because I knew, Vivian was, because we were looking it up at the same time too, trying to figure out what the association was. So yeah, it was interesting to hear back. So I wanted to actually, before we get into this, I wanted to cover a couple small videos here real quick. When it came to, I wanted to show the local news clips. When it came to
they're talking about
the oh my gosh, now they're gone. Come on, YouTube. It like totally changed everything. Okay, everything's out of order. What the heck?
StreamYard being buggy again.
No, it's YouTube, man.
Oh, great.
I organized the playlist for tonight, and nothing is organized like I had it. I had a certain order I was going to play everything.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just skip to the other ones here. I did want to play I wanted to play what Dog said when it comes to this case. This is a video from Jay for Justice, and then I wanted to talk a little bit about the video game stuff, and then we're gonna watch that Court TV episode where Vinny realized that, oh gosh, Seth, you're a suspect still, and then he ended the show. Their segment. Yeah. All we did was watch that 6 minutes and go to another part of the show. So I wanted to rewatch that 6 minutes again, but then watch the whole thing because he has other people on there that say a lot of interesting stuff when it comes to kind of the things that we're talking about. And so we're gonna watch that, and then if we have some time, I'm gonna get into the SF Investigates. There's about a half an hour. He's on Web Sleuth, so it was a really good conversation about the evidence and what's there and what's not and what he thinks. And then if we do have time, we'll get into the Jennifer Coffindaffer stuff. If not, we will get into that on the next show. But this is what Dog the Bounty Hunter had to say on his thoughts.
Boy missing out of Tennessee, 15 years old, hasn't taken his medication. And it's very odd, Dog. I mean, they have searched thousands of miles. They've had drones. They've searched waterways. It's insane. I mean, there's volunteers. No trace of him on camera. Allegedly, no dogs have picked up his scent. What gives?
Well, I can only say by the years of investigating, same thing. Usually a family member has done something. Usually there is a dump ground, your trash dump ground nearby, or a lake. Lie detector tests don't work. Well, they do use them. They don't work on certain individuals. I think the parents, anybody close to him, take a lie box. If they volunteer, okay, I'll take it. Then, they take it, they pass. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, So where you start with autistic kids is the family members, because it's hard to raise an autistic kid. It is hard, quadruple hard than a kid that is not autistic. So start with the family. And Nancy Grace, I never met her, but she used to speak at the bail bonds convention for us. And that happened to be that day I was sick, but she's a very good investigator. So she usually comes up with stuff, but I would say there's a family member or even a neighbor that is just, and they'll, how young was the boy?
He's 15.
Yeah. So without leaving a site, that means somebody, dumped him somewhere and it's very sad. There's a show on A&E called 48 Hours.
Yeah.
And after 48 hours, 90% of people missing, age, gender, and all that have been killed. So when you find nothing, and like dogs don't get a scent, bloodhounds and all that, every single time the person is passed away or they've been killed and disposed of.
I kept on trying to interrupt you because I actually could not believe that you don't know this case and you stated all of that. I mean, if you have time, everything you just said is what has made this case so contentious.
And I'm going to play that again, too.
Matter anyway. Yeah, So where you start with autistic kids is the family members, because it's hard to raise an autistic kid. It is hard, quadruple hard, than a kid that is not autistic. So start with the family. And Nancy Grace, I never met her, but she used to speak at the bail bonds convention for us. And that happened to be that day I was sick, but she's a very good investigator. So she usually comes up with stuff, you know, but I would say there's a family member or even a neighbor that is just, you know, and they'll, how young was the boy?
He's 15.
Yeah. So without leaving a site, that means somebody, you know, dumped him somewhere and it's very sad. There's a show on A&E called 48 Hours.
Yeah.
And after 48 hours, 90% of people missing, age, gender, and all that have been, have been killed. So when you find nothing, and you know, like dogs don't get a scent, bloodhounds and all that, every single time the person is passed away or they've been killed and disposed of.
I kept on trying to interrupt you because I actually could not believe that you don't know this case and you stated all of that. I mean, if you have time, everything you just said is what has made this case so contentious. The stepdad and the mom are being looked at because they did not speak out on the news asking people for help with their child for about 7 days. The stepdad appears to have some odd language. They actually left for a while, the second or third week of the search. And then as far as the lie detector test goes, mom already took a polygraph. Allegedly, and I was on the Nancy Grace episode, I was on the panel when she asked stepdad to take it. He challenges her with this phrase and says, name the time and the place. And then all of a sudden, the TBI, or per him, the TBI says, oh, you're not allowed to take it. Well, what? This doesn't make sense. And then it's such a mess. I cannot believe you said that.
Let me tell you, you can Google this to find it out. You know, Google is sometimes everyone's worst enemy. If you take a Valium, one blue Valium, if you drink a certain downer, you can pass any lie detector test because it slows your heart down a little bit.
Yep, beta blockers, benzos. Oh, trust me, we discussed this.
Yeah.
Discuss this. Yes. And you said the landfill or the dump site. Oh, they already checked a Kentucky landfill because that's where the trash goes in Tennessee. And according to one of the guys that dumps the trash or something, he felt something, and that's what indicated or was an indication that maybe they should go look there. So they did, and they didn't find anything. And that's why I got chills. I'm like, God, you're good. Like, you literally didn't even know this case. After this, or when you're done your interviews, you should look up Sebastian Rogers. You're going to be like, holy crap.
And the beta blockers and the Valium and this and that. It's like, whoa, dude.
Oh, yeah, you can pass a polygraph.
Whoa.
I know people who have taken polygraphs where I'm just like, and they passed them. So I don't believe in polygraphs whatsoever. It's kind of pointless. I think honestly, if anything, probably sometimes the opposite. If I took one, I'd probably fail everything. What's your name? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
fail everything. No, I never heard the beta blockers and stuff like that. I never heard that before. So when I heard him say that in the last show, I was like, what? I was shocked. The Valium and the beta blockers and all that. I was just like, whoa, this is crazy.
I wonder if it's the same with like blood pressure medication. I'm pretty sure it has an effect. We need dog.
I know. That's why I wanted to play it again, because the dude's awesome, man.
I know. He's like, I feel like he's sincere. Like, just tells you exactly how it is. Yep. No bull crap. We need dog and Nancy Grace to be on location.
I freaking love dog.
Be knocking on doors. It's dog. And his voice. I don't think anybody would even approach him.
No. He needs to be out there, though.
At least for a week. I think dog would be awesome.
Oh, for sure. just to give some sort of idea. But I don't know. You listen to him right now, he might just say, "Look, man, I just said
what he
this is
said.
what I think. Yeah, this is what I think." Contribution call out. I want to say thank you, Lori Van, for the $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that and the contribution to the community. Yeah, beta blocker. I didn't know. I don't know. I'm not a beta blocker volume. I don't know. It's just not my gig. So I don't know about any of that. Now I'm gonna switch to this one. This is about the video game stuff. Now, this is why I feel like he hasn't been cleared, is because the video games, and if a predator was somehow able to gain access for this to happen, well, I'm sorry. That's why you have to kind of restrict certain things depending on age and maturity, because you need to protect them.
Supervision
from predators,
oversight,
right? Exactly.
Lock down accounts, put it on a child's account. Don't allow certain stuff.
So J for Justice did another video, and we're going to show this. What kind of gaming really went on at Sebastian's house? You heard about Uncle Taco. I was busy working on another case. I never got to see any of the Uncle Taco interviews. I don't even know what his voice sounds like, to be honest with you. But all I know is that they were supposedly gaming together. They would all game together. So I figure, you know what, when it comes to what hasn't been returned and why somebody, if their alibi was they were at work the whole time, why wouldn't they be cleared? Who knows? Maybe there's a possible pending.
There's some speculation out there, but I haven't looked into it enough to know if it's something that was actually said by someone or not.
Yeah, and I saw a video where Seth said he wouldn't be able to talk to anybody unless he had the headphones. But what if Seth went out for a smoke or went to the bathroom or something like that?
Or went to work.
And Sebastian picked up the headphones.
Or went to work.
Exactly.
What kid doesn't have headphones?
Or figure out how to get some. I'm sure they had headphones.
I mean, when I started, I got me a pair of Sony earbuds at Walmart for $12 that had a microphone hanging on it. Yeah, you can't talk to anybody without a microphone, but what kid doesn't have a pair of headphones?
And let's face it, in the grand scheme of things, he's still a 15-year-old child. And the 15-year-old children, we've all been there. We will do things that our parents tell us not to.
Yeah, you figure out how to circumvent things too.
Yep.
And without them knowing.
Well, and also if you're not there for supervision.
Oh, then it's open.
Yeah. For hours.
It's all open. All right, we're going to switch to this real quick. This is what kind of gaming really went on.
I've not seen this or heard it.
Pretty much locked down for my own sake, because I don't. If I don't know you,
right,
I don't want you popping in to talk to me. So it's like everybody on my PlayStation that are on my friends list.
Yeah,
I know personally.
Gotcha.
So there's no way that he would have been talking to somebody without me knowing, because.
Sorry, it wasn't showing the video. Could you guys hear the audio though? I'm going to rewind it. But okay, when it comes to that everybody personally, I knew a lot of people that I would work with, and you know what? I didn't know some of the crazy ass backgrounds until they came to light. So just because you know somebody personally doesn't always mean that they're A-OK.
Yeah,
know what
you
I'm
don't
saying?
know. You figure out that out along the way. So
Who,
unfortunately, sometimes.
what I mean, who says, "Hey, can I play with Johnny?" Yeah, go ahead and play with Johnny. Hey, is your dad there? Yeah, he's in there cooking hamburger helper. Hey, guess what? I don't know. I'm sorry. Just because you know him personally doesn't mean anything.
You play games at my house. My PlayStation is pretty much locked down for my own sake, because I don't. If I don't know you,
right,
I don't want you popping in to talk to me. So it's like everybody on my PlayStation that are on my friends list.
Yeah,
I know personally. You know.
Okay, and when you go into Call of Duty, just because you only are available to your friends and you're only available to have a friend request sent because they have to listen, your account still pops up and you can still join public lobby games. What do you think Call of Duty is? It's a public lobby video game where if you're by yourself or you're with two people, you most of the time end up joining a group of 4, however many that is. It's usually 4 people. Just because it doesn't throw you in a lobby of just your friends unless you create a lobby like that. If you join a public lobby, it's a whole bunch of people that can sit there and play their frickin' music in their microphone, which is annoying when you're trying to hear footsteps, just whatever they want. Maybe he's not knowledgeable on how video games work and how, the systems and what you can do with them these days or something. Because just because you know somebody and you have it locked down doesn't mean you don't come across, especially with a game that's rated for somebody that's older than 15. Because if you want to break it down, Call of Duty is rated for children over 15, not 15. They shouldn't even be on it in the first place. That's why there's a rating system for the video games. The Switch, that's a different story. You can play Mario Brothers all day long, not run into anybody. That's one thing. You don't even need online access. In order to play PlayStation games, the majority of them, you need to have an online connection to even play the damn thing anymore. So, yeah, I know these people and my stuff's locked down, bro. You can't trust it because these things happen. These people that do this stuff are so freaking sneaky and they know all the rabbit holes that they can go to get what they want. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, I'll bring it up again, not to interrupt you, but Ghost, the program, breaks all that down, like psychology behind it and everything.
Which one's that? I'll have to look that up. What is it?
I sent it to you before. It's Ghost. It's through a sheriff's office in Michigan, in Flint, Michigan. And they have a couple videos on, they just break it down. And they filter as much as they can, but they go over from how it doesn't even have to be a stranger, but human trafficking and then the whole shebang. And how everything works. And the person that's doing it, their psychology, and then how they typically can make $250,000 a year off of each person that they end up getting, like if it's that extreme. But like it's really, really bad, and it's hard to watch. It's like if you watch the videos, there's like a training thing. I think they're a couple hours long, but like you'll be exhausted by the time you get through it.
Really?
Like just thinking, yeah. I've only watched half of them because I'm just like I can't watch this anymore. Like just will mentally exhaust you.
Wow. Just of all the stuff you didn't even realize, like
Like they break it down, and they start off kind of like 17 minutes to get your curiosity, and you're like, well, there's got to be more to this. And then like the second video, I think it's an hour, 2 hours long. I think they live streamed it. It's all on their website. It goes to YouTube.
So what's it? Yeah, so we can, or if you can drop the channel, and then I can drop it in chat for everybody. I want to check that out too. I might have added it and just don't remember.
I sent it to you a lot. One of the other ones. Let me find their website.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it last time.
All right, let me see.
Yeah, so there's
Sorry, go ahead. Let's see. So I'm gonna rewind this here. I don't know. There's too many loopholes.
My PlayStation is pretty much locked down for my own sake, because I don't. If I don't know you,
right,
I don't want you popping in to talk to me. So it's like everybody on my PlayStation that are on my friends list.
Yeah,
I know personally.
Thank you.
You know,
yeah.
So there's no way that he would have been talking to somebody without me knowing, because they're my friends. They're not his friends.
Yeah. No,
I mean, they would call me up and be like, your son's on your account, right? I'm like, yeah. I'm sitting next to him. He's in his recliner. I'm in my recliner.
Right. You guys are spending time together.
He's playing there, and I'm on my phone playing Call of Duty, and he's on the PlayStation.
So how do the friends know that his son's on the game? How do they know that? If he's like, yeah, I'm sitting right here, I know. How would his friends know that his son's on the game?
The one thing that stuck out to me was he said, for the most part. That means it's not
like
100. It's not 100% lockdown, but it's for the most part lockdown.
Yeah, the most part where you're joining Call of Duty, a public lobby with 99 other freaking people.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could have it locked down. You could have it. Nobody. They're going to see your account, even if it's private. It just won't show online. But your account, it has to be there, even if you lock it down. you know. But as soon as you go to Call of Duty and play some plunder, trying to get that cash, you're in there with 99 other people, yo.
I've never played an online game like that, so I don't know.
Dude, you come across most of the time. I just don't even have my stuff hooked up, or I go into a party by myself because most of the time it's people playing their frickin' music, and it's like you're trying to hear footsteps. People, I don't get it.
I've seen you play online games in the lounge,
but yeah, you're right. You're right there. And again, like, how's your friend going to know your son's playing? And I didn't know people were like, hey, man, I didn't know you were online. Like, what? That's like some teenage 20-year-old stuff, man. Like, hey, guys, you want to play some of this? Come on, hurry up. Get on. It's like you're in high school or something.
Right.
Hey, get on. I see you're on. But how would your friends know? And then you're sitting on the couch, because that actually happened. You listen to him say it, and he's like, he called me up, and I'm sitting on the couch. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm sitting right here. Well, then how'd your friend know? He didn't obviously ask you, hey, you want to play some Call of Duty? No, I'm watching my son play. That never took place. What did he do? Try and join a party? And then Sebastian was on the microphone. He said, hey, what's up, Tom? And then Tom contacted Seth. Like, how does he know that his son was on the game?
Exactly.
Because it's like he's telling you, I'm sitting on the couch.
Your son's on your account, right? I'm like, yeah. I'm sitting next to him.
Oh,
he's in his recliner. I'm in my recliner.
Right.
See? Yeah.
So
Like
does that
everybody-
mean that Sebastian had to have had his headset on at that point in time for him to know that it was Sebastian instead of Seth?
Unless he sent him a message and
He said,
Sebastian sent him a message back. I mean,
you know your son's on your account, right?
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, I'm sitting next to him. So
Yeah.
I'd imagine, I can't imagine, but I would imagine he probably had a headset on and was like, yada, like being a kid, hey, what's up?
That's what I'm
and
saying.
then it's like, yo, where's your dad?
But then wouldn't his dad be like, yeah, you just
Chime
talk
in?
to him. You
You
just
would
said,
think.
yeah, like it's like there's like Seth wasn't like, it's like Tom didn't say, hey, Seth, you want to play some Call of Duty? I see you're on.
Yeah.
No, that didn't take place. Unless he got sent a message, then that means that Seth didn't see that he got a message and was creating dialogue with Sebastian for the friend to find out,
Could've
or
been like-
on the microphone.
Yeah, it could have been like, want to play this game or whatever it is, knowing that he's a friend on there, like as far as chat and stuff. And then his friend being like, that's not how Seth, like, why didn't he just voice me?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, man. It is weird. And it's, he's, I'm sitting on my couch.
No, I mean, they would call me up and be like, you know, your son's on your account, right? I'm like, yeah. He's sitting next to him.
They said they would call me up?
He's in his recliner.
Yeah, he said they'd like call me up, and he's trying to make it like a general and a multiple person.
But then he
kinda
goes
thing,
into-
but it's one story.
Yeah, he's sitting next to me.
It's to puff up his he couldn't have done nothing on the video game excuse. It's to puff it up.
He's creating a narrative that if Sebastian got online, someone would call him and tell him.
No,
Right.
that's not always
But that's
the case.
not no.
I know that.
And then what 15-year-old is going to tell on himself that he was playing video games while you were at work? None.
And he could have figured it out. He could have been like, okay, I'm going to figure, no one's going to know I'm online except for whoever, and then go into offline mode.
Dude, that's what you could
He's
do.
15. He wasn't,
You
I
can-
mean, he
you
might have
can
been
go in
autistic,
offline.
but I guarantee if he's sitting there playing video games, going to school, he's not stupid.
No.
You can go to offline and no, man.
He's still a
'Cause you-
kid.
yeah, because you don't think he would have listen. That first time he would have got online to play and Dad
he got
found
busted.
out, shoot,
He's going to circumvent the whole process.
right. Hey,
He's
guess
going to be
what?
like, I guarantee you.
Guess what, Sebastian? Just go to offline. Oh, okay.
Yep. No one even know you're playing.
Hey,
And if
guess
you still
what?
wanna-
While your dad's at work, you should just go offline, okay, buddy? It'll be our secret. It's to
You
puff
got-
up, dude.
There's all kinds of communication on PlayStations.
Tons.
Plus, you can get on the full internet. There's browsers.
And who knows, man? Like, yeah, the kiddie's doing yoga. I know. But it's true, man. Like, dude, there's a lot of creepy ass people on that shit, man.
Well, then they prey on people. It's typically social media, and then
Well, shit, you come like, yeah, you got pedophiles. Listen, Call of Duty is one of the most played games out there.
and they know that.
There's pedophile, right? And they know that there's
Technology behind it.
children.
Yep.
And they know there's children playing it.
And all you
they're-
gotta do is hop in chats, get going, maybe make a couple friends. Hey, I'll bet, buddy. Want to go join my lobby?
and it's normal to play with adults in that game too. You see what I mean? It's not out of it's not like you're playing Mario Kart and you got a 35-year-old guy on there. That's a little different. But when you're playing Call of Duty and Fortnite too, right, Katrina? When you're playing these games, that's why there's an age restriction on them. That's why there's a maturity level as a parent to watch over, you know? Like, you got to know their maturity level. You got to know, like, you got to know this. You got to know what these games are capable of, too, when it comes to exposing your children to predators. And hello, just because they're a predator doesn't mean they don't play Call of Duty. I could imagine there's quite a bit of predators that are on there trying to seek out freaking kids, you know? That's why there's warnings about it.
Well, they know how to do it. Like they know how to break down the psychology of other people too, and just like kind of the way I don't want to say the way they're wired, but depending on motive, you know what I mean. I got like two things: the weirdos that they're just gonna do it, and then the people making money off of all these kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I don't know who's more dangerous. But,
well, I mean, who usually
the internet in general is dangerous.
Well, who usually commits the crimes against you? The people that you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
typically
when you
someone
break it down.
that knows you or someone that sees you by driving by on a regular basis or lives next to you, yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Usually something along the lines of that. It's usually just like when something gets stolen. It's usually because someone has seen it or someone that you know.
I want to play Mario Kart now. I know, I do too. I got this Wii with all these games, and they've just collected dust. I'm like, geez, I need to game. All right, we're gonna get back into this. This is where it's just like Chris said. It's just more trying to add to the hey. It's not because of dude. I think that's why the video games ain't been returned, unfortunately. I really do.
Yeah. No,
I mean, they would call me up and be like, your son's on your account, right? I'm like, yeah. I'm sitting next to him. He's in his recliner. I'm in my recliner.
Right. You guys are spending time together.
He's playing there, and I'm on my phone playing Call of Duty, and he's on the PlayStation playing Modern Warfare.
Right on.
I mean, I know what he's doing because I'm right next to him.
Yeah.
So it's like any conversations or anything that he didn't have the headphones.
Right.
So, and it's a PS4, it's not a PS5, so it doesn't pick up your stuff through the remote.
That don't
anything.
matter, bro. Oh,
so
my
it's like
Lord.
the only way he would have had contact with any of them is if he had headphones on, and I made him not wear headphones because
you can.
Dude,
you're not going to talk to random people.
Chat too.
But
so.
Okay, but when you're not there, like when you're not there, what kid doesn't have headphones?
You can still send messages back and forth.
Of course you can.
Like, let's say there was no headphones ever. You can still send messages. Plus, you have access to the internet, so that opens up a whole world wide web, literally. And then he's saying he's playing Call of Duty on his phone while he's playing Modern Warfare. So if he knows how to run the console, play Modern Warfare, and you're playing your stuff, he obviously knows how to run everything by himself.
Oh yeah.
So
especially when it comes to video games. Come on, man. That's like one of their favorite things to do. All right, we're gonna play some more of this.
Right,
baby.
You don't know who, and I explained to him, you don't know who these people are. They could tell you one thing, and they could be some guy that's like in his 50s or something, looking for some kid.
Could be more.
It was really quick, like, because it was usually in passing. I'd get online, I reported you playing. That's his dad, so I'd get on. It was either him or his dad. And at the time, we didn't even talk. We just played.
I mean, did you guys have like your own little group?
No.
Or would you just play wide ass open with whoever?
I play with my clan, but nobody in my clan participates, so I drag them along. And
so you guys go and play with other people.
Yeah. There's other.
Boom. Hey, baby. Boom. They'd go play with other people. Right there.
Not a constant. I don't constantly have a. I play with Seth when he's online, but I play with random people all the time.
See, I mean, would you pretty much talk to them every time you think Seth had Sebastian then on the weekends?
No, sometimes my mic would be off. Most of the time I wouldn't be talking. It would just be like, I reported you, wants you to play a game with you, or Nothing Fucks wants to play a game with you. I reported you, and we team up.
So was that like their main thing they do together, you think, is like play the video games?
That fishing and going to the park and playing.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew when he was online, he was proficient at what he was doing. So I think he had when he escaped online. Like everybody did. Like everybody does. Everybody has their little things they disappearance, either Instagram or X or Pornhub, whatever they want to hide in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you see Sebastian playing online when Seth was at work? Like when he had him on the weekend and Seth had to work overnight?
No, because I knew it was all on Seth's phone.
The phone?
I didn't know what Sebastian did when Seth went to work. I don't know what that arrangement was.
Oh.
And I'm on my phone playing Call of Duty.
What is the phone? What I thought it was PlayStation. I thought it was PlayStation.
Well, he said he was on his phone, right? Playing.
Yeah.
And then Sebastian was on the PlayStation.
I don't know. Something. I know you're probably hungry here. Something don't seem right. Hold on, baby. I know you're trying to grab that bottle here. Something don't seem right. I play Call of Duty. Yeah. But what I'm saying, why is there even talk about a PlayStation? Xbox only and phone. But why is there talk about a PlayStation 4 and how on PlayStation 4 you can't do that like you can on PlayStation 5? I'm a gamer. I know. I mean, come on. PlayStation 4 and 5, you could still end up playing with. It's played on everything, you guys. Xbox, mobile, PC, PlayStation. And most of it's Warzone. Warzone. What is Warzone? Warzone's public lobbies. 99 people plus you. Y'all try and be the last person to stay alive. That's the point of the game. You can talk to your friends. Or if you don't have friends, it groups you up with people and you can talk to them because you got to talk to them in order to coordinate. Yeah, I don't know where the whole... why there's even the discussion about the PlayStation then if it was just from the phone. So that don't make sense to me either. You can swear at me, Teresa. Yeah, I mean, you can say whatever you want on that thing because, like I said, it's a mature restriction. So, yeah, you can say whatever you want. There's nothing wrong with the game, Tiffany. I think it's a fun game. I play Fortnite and I play Warzone. Evil CJ. And I'm actually going to start playing it at the lounge soon. But it doesn't matter what system or what. It's the same game no matter what it is. And the game is where you're joining a bunch of people, random people, and you're trying to be the last one alive. That's the whole point of it. So I don't know. Hold on 1 second. She just spilled some milk. You're sloppy. All right. There we go. All right. So we're going to check out this Vinny interview, this where he had Tony and Seth on there. And then he just was like, oh my gosh, you haven't been cleared yet. There's a lot of interesting people on there. The interview room, Chris McDonough, and a couple other people are on there talking about the case as well.
There's some other story.
Let me see here, right here. Dang it.
I'm Vinny Politan. The subject of my investigation is an awesome 15-year-old boy from Tennessee. His name is Sebastian Rogers. He's a child with autism, and he is missing. Now, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered in this case. Here's more of Sebastian's story.
Inside this beautiful neighborhood in Hendersonville, Tennessee, there is an unsolved mystery. It was a Sunday night going into a Monday morning, and 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was supposed to be inside his home sleeping. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, says he went to bed at 9, but was making some noise around 10, including a thud sound. Katie told him to go to sleep. She went to bed at midnight. Then at 6 a.m., Katie woke up. She went to his room to get him ready for school, but Sebastian was gone. She searched the house, and he was nowhere to be found. Sebastian's stepdad, Chris Proudfoot, was not home, and Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, was at work about 45 minutes away. Police responded and began trying to figure out what happened. That was February 26, 2024. And as the days, weeks, and months have passed, still no sign of Sebastian, no sign of foul play, and no answers about what happened. Did someone harm Sebastian, or did he just walk away? We're searching for answers as we investigate the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers.
From the beginning, this case has not made a lot of sense because of the lack of evidence, the lack of leads. I want you to take a look, though, at the original Amber Alert in this case, because I think it's significant. The Amber Alert went out, issued on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Sebastian is a 15-year-old white male, 5'5" tall, 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Sebastian was last seen on February 26th, 2024, in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. February 26th. That's the last time he has been seen. So what's going on right now? You know, we profile missing children all the time, every night. So my question right now is anyone still searching for Sebastian? Let me bring in my special guest, someone I know is still searching. Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, is with us, and also joining us, the Rogers family spokesperson, Tony Mathis. Thank you both for being here. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and the opportunity to speak about Sebastian. Seth, let me begin with you. Is anyone still searching for your missing son?
I am. I have a private investigator that's still working on it. She conducts her searches in private. She has her own volunteer base. We're not going to stop until we find it.
Let me ask you this, Seth. Outside of what you are doing, is this search still active? Let's talk about law enforcement.
From my understanding, law enforcement is still searching. They're doing it privately as well. They're checking in on tips when they come in. If we get tips, we pass them on to them. Same time we get them.
And how is that part going with tips? Are people still providing information when they come across things? And what are your thoughts about?
We still get information. I mean, we still get emails every day. We have a tip site that is up. I put that up. It's a valid tip site for anybody who wants to email or call, wants to be anonymous or whatnot.
Tony, I wanted to bring you in the conversation. This is a difficult situation. And I understand the onslaught of public attention that this has gotten. And sometimes that's a big positive in keeping Sebastian's face in the public and getting people to know who he is and think about him. And if they see something, hopefully say something. But obviously there can be downsides as well. How is all of this publicity, from your perspective, impacting the search for Sebastian?
Well, we don't really believe that any of the media attention, social media attention, any of that is really going to impact what law enforcement's doing one way or another. It does impact the father, that I represent, Seth. We thank all the creators out there that continue to keep Sebastian's name out and do it in a positive way. Our message to most of the media attention, more social media than mainstream, is that, we ask that you cover the case in a positive way. If you choose not to do that and back away, that's okay too. But any positive support that we can get for Seth while he's looking for his son is a big deal for us.
And Seth, I know that during the course of all of this, there have been some potential leads that became very public, including a photograph of someone who seemed to resemble Sebastian at a rest stop in, I believe, North Carolina. How are you holding up through all of this? And where's your level of optimism right now?
I have faith. I have hope. Sebastian's alive. We just got to find him. There is nothing else. Just finding Sebastian.
Tony, I wanted to get you in on this as well, in terms of as a family spokesperson, do you feel that there is still the same level of, I guess, commitment from everyone, the community, law enforcement, media, to make sure that anything and everything is done to find this missing child?
Well, Vinny, I think that it's our job to keep his name out there in the community. All of our job on Seth's team, and of course I represent just Seth. It's all of our jobs on his team to keep the community engaged. We continue to have events, have vigils, have gatherings, keep his name out there. The media, mainstream media, such as yourself and many others, have been very good and very helpful. It's very easy to get interviews if Seth feels up to doing an interview. I think the X factor for us is law enforcement. I think that the communication, it's been a bit lacking, at least as far as Seth and I are concerned. We don't really know what it is they're doing. We have faith. We heavily back the blue. Of course, Seth is in law enforcement. I live in Oklahoma. We strongly back the blue in my community. But, the question that I always ask that we still haven't got an answer to is, just simply tell Seth, are you any closer today to figuring out what happened to Sebastian than you were on February 26th? And quite frankly, we feel like that's a very fair and logical question. We have not got an answer to that.
That has to be absolutely excruciating. By the way, folks, as you watch, you'll see on the bottom of your screen numbers and places you can contact if you have any information. Seth, how are you holding up? I'm always concerned about you going through this. I've spoken with other parents through the years. I got a strong sense from them what it can be like. How are you holding up?
It's more like 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. It doesn't really seem like it's been 5 months. It's just you lose track of time. I mean, all you're doing is thinking about the next place to go look, what the next thing needs to be done, and just trying to stay positive, trying to stay focused on finding my son and what's the next step to do.
What's been the biggest frustration for you so far in the search?
Not getting much in terms of information wise. last thing that I was really informed of by the sheriff's office is they don't have anything stating that he left the house. And that's pretty much, that's it. But obviously he's not there, or else we wouldn't be looking for him. There's no sightings. There's nothing. Just one move. Things just don't make sense. I mean, we're talking about, first of all, we're talking about a male child that left his house with nothing. A teenager that left the house with nothing. No phone, no switch, possibly no shoes, no backpack. I mean, completely unprepared.
Whoa, he said possibly no shoes. He said possibly. That's the first time I've heard him say possibly.
I've never caught that before.
That's the first time I heard him say possibly, because when he was on my show, I asked him, and he said that it was confirmed that all the shoes were there, and he talked about the new pair of shoes that he bought him. That's the first time I've ever heard him say possibly no shoes.
Maybe he just misspoke. I don't know, but that's very odd.
No, man, you don't misspeak that. Let me rewind it.
Things just don't make sense. I mean, we're talking about, first of all, we're talking about a male child that left his house with nothing. A teenager that left the house with nothing. No phone, no switch, possibly no shoes,
possibly no shoes. That's not
now it's a different story. Possibly. Before it was like no shoes.
Before he said the shoes were accounted for when he came on. I don't know about others. I know when he came on my show.
He's got doubt now.
He said shoes were accounted for. Even the ones that I bought him, and the other ones were thrown away. Interesting.
I thought.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I thought, while they were out having this great day, he could have got a pair of shoes while they were out.
Well, he said that he got him a pair of shoes shortly before that. Because he was growing out of his shoes.
Yeah, but was
so quick.
The shoes that he got him accounted for at Seth's house?
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Because I asked him, I was like, "Well, were those shoes?"
But what if Katie bought him a new pair of shoes that day that they were running around?
Well, she would have said that.
Maybe not. I don't know.
But I'm just saying this whole time for 6 months, he's been saying that the shoes were accounted for at the house.
Oh, yeah.
All this time. And then this is the first time I've ever heard him say possibly no shoes. I've never heard him say that.
He put doubt.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I'm just saying he put doubt in it now.
Possibly no shoes. That's different.
Yep.
That's a lot different. Kitty, my necklace is not a toy.
Nothing. A teenager that left the house with nothing.
Ow.
No phone, no switch, possibly no shoes, no backpack. I mean, completely unprepared. That's
no money.
It's not how he leaves the house to go somewhere with me. I don't expect him to leave anywhere without his phone and way of communication in case something happens. It's just too much doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Seth Rogers, Tony Mathis, stand by, stay with us. When we come back, we have another question to ask tonight. Was Sebastian's mom the last person to see him?
We are just trying to do whatever we can to advance the investigation. It has not gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this. The parents have been cooperative throughout at the beginning of the investigation. They have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them.
That's TBI talking about the case of missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. So parents are cooperating. Now, his situation, his parents aren't together anymore. So his mom, he has a stepfather, and he has a dad, and they were all in the same area when all of this was happening, the same general area. But I want to play you something, which was an interview that was done with Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot. Her and her husband sat down with the YouTube channel Chronicles of Olivia, and she explained the last time that she saw Sebastian.
He said, all right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you. And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
So Sebastian went to bed. They're in the same house, different parts of the house. She heard a thud noise, but didn't go to see him. But what was going on with that alleged thud noise, and who was with him? Was there anyone with him at that moment? Or, bringing me to my next question, was Sebastian's mother the last person to see him? Was she the last one?
And I'm just going to say, if I heard a thud in my kid's room, I'd be going back to check.
Oh, man. You hear any weird noise, you're going to be like, all right, what's happening now? Like, what are you into? You're going to go and check it out and be like, hey, you're not knocking. You're opening the door.
Yeah. What are you into? Did something happen?
Yeah. Are you okay? I mean, depending on if it was a thud or, rambunctious noise.
I don't remember what video it's in, but she gave an excuse for not going in there.
Well, especially a kid with medical condition.
What would be the excuse?
Why wouldn't you?
Because you heard him say, "Love you, Mom."
Because he's a 15-year-old boy, and she didn't know what he was doing in there.
Yeah, you go in there and check.
Well, it kind of doesn't matter. You would just go in,
right?
I don't know. You're the parent. I mean,
it's supposed to be bedtime. It's a school night.
I mean, that's what I heard on a video, but.
Even if it was like, yeah, Mom, I'm okay, I'm still coming in.
Yeah. Definitely gonna do that.
If you watch her hand gestures, she tells us what she did.
Oh man.
Here, I don't know.
I wasn't even watching hands.
Here, let's see it.
It's done with Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot. Her and her husband sat down with the YouTube channel Chronicles of Olivia, and she explained the last time that she saw Sebastian.
He said, all right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you. And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And about midnight, I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock, I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
I don't know. She had her arms in the same spot the whole time, and her leg was shaking because I could see her arms moving up and down. I didn't really see her. Go ahead, man.
It may be further into the video. I think she raises her hands up and then put them back down.
Well, she was just talking about, okay, maybe further. Well, that's all they show, and that's when she's talking about it. Not on this interview. It's on the interview, but not on this part. Okay.
Right.
I'll have to load that up for the next show. have to check it out because it's been so long since I seen this one. Hell, probably 5.5 months ago. Maybe,
Yeah,
a
I've
long
seen it
time.
several times.
So Sebastian went to bed. They're in the same house, different parts of the house. She heard a thud noise, but didn't go to see him. But what was going on with that alleged thud noise, and who was with him? Was there anyone with him at that moment? Or, bringing me to my next question, was Sebastian's mother the last person to see him? Was she the last one? Was there someone else that came to the house that night? Or is there some other story? Our guests are still with us. Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, and Tony Mathis, the family spokesperson. Seth, from your perspective, I know you've listened to every potential piece of information that's been available in this case, that's been made available. To me, that thud noise, I've always thought about that, what that could have been if it happened, right? What are your thoughts about Sebastian's mom? Do you believe she's the last person to see Sebastian before he disappeared?
I'd say yes. I mean, he was in her house. She's the one that put him to bed. She'd be the last person to have seen him.
What do you think about that thud noise that she described, the rustling that was going on? I thought about it. I've looked at the house. His room is on the first floor, right? So his window is accessible from the outside.
It would be, I believe, but I know law enforcement went around the house and stated that none of the windows or screens had been tampered with. So as for the thud, I mean, I don't know what she would classify as a thud. If I heard something in his room I know I'd go check on him just because I want to make sure he's okay. I mean, he's got a medical condition that would definitely mean I need to go check on him just to make sure he's okay.
And have you spoken with his mom about that night at all? Have you had any sort of conversation, either just the two of you or with other people there?
Have not had a conversation with her just alone, and probably won't.
Why is that?
Because every time I want to speak to her, I'm going to have to speak to Chris. Chris wasn't there. I don't know why he needs to be involved in a conversation about what happened that night. And if he was on a phone call, then maybe he can tell us what the thud was.
How about the rest of the day leading up to the point that Sebastian got home? Who was the last person other than his mom to see him? And have you spoken with that person?
No, I guess the last person to see him besides mom would be, the waitress at Texas Roadhouse.
And Tony, as we try to track and figure out who interacted with Sebastian, where he could have gone, how this could have happened. From your perspective, what are the lingering questions that you see in this case as well?
Well, if you're talking about that situation specifically, Vinny, I mean, clearly she was the last person that was seen with him. There has been no evidence that he ever left the house on his own. So in my mind, what would be the opposite of him leaving the house on his own? It would be leaving the house with somebody. Well, the only somebody, admittingly, by Katie, that was in that house was her. So clearly we have some questions there. But my bigger question as Seth's spokesperson, and where I would ask Court TV to give us some assistance is, we have video evidence that shows that Seth was at work. We've had all of his electronic devices that have been seized and dumped. We'd like to know why Seth still hasn't been cleared, or what they might need from Seth and or myself to get him cleared.
So they have not cleared. I didn't realize that. I just didn't realize that was the situation.
What law enforcement tells a potential suspect, hey, this is what we need to clear you? I didn't know that. I didn't know that existed.
That is weird. Usually it's like, hey, want to take a polygraph?
They might as well go ahead and just.
You got nothing to hide, nothing to lie about. Just take the polygraph and we'll clear you. That's usually what happens.
Tell them all the evidence you got too while you're at it.
Like, here's the list. Here's the list, sir. You check all these boxes and you're good.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, Tony. I don't know, dude.
So
not at all.
So my guess is if they haven't cleared him, that may explain some of the lack of communication that is going back and forth. And
the lack of the communication is there haven't been any updates.
Is there any facts up to the rumor going around if someone was sleeping for a couple hours while they were working?
Oh, the 3 hours?
Yeah. Is that
I've been hearing that, but I don't know. I haven't had time to check it out.
I haven't heard anything to confirm or deny it.
Yeah. I've been hearing it, though, about being passed out.
So many.
Well, not all of the coworkers have been interviewed either. So there's a lot of things, I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
I don't know if he says it somewhere, maybe.
And
or if that just started out of thin air.
Yeah, not that I know of.
I highly doubt he would admit that if that happened. I don't think he'd say, "Oh yeah, I was sleeping for 3 hours," and then that also changes my whereabouts and my alibi.
Yeah.
Plus, I just don't think he would say that on video.
I don't think he would either, because he's trying to make sure that he doesn't have to pay money back to a company he would have got fired from.
Exactly.
Because he was using paid days off. The people at his work were offering up their paid days off to him.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. So
yeah,
he would have to pay. Well, I don't know if he'd have to pay it back, but he wouldn't have had. He wouldn't have had the funds that he would have had and the opportunity.
Now he's supposedly on medical leave till he gets cleared by his doctor to go back.
Oh, is that what it was?
Well, now, because he had that surgery.
Yeah, he had that shoulder surgery.
Yeah. So you got to, I'm sure it'll be light duty at one point, and then it goes to full duty.
Yeah, probably just be like control room, clerical stuff.
Because it's like that type of injury is like a repetitive thing when you're lifting things that you're not strong enough to lift.
Right.
And then twisting and lifting is typically repetitive, and then it just wears down your ligaments and stuff. Because I used to have the same type of recurring injury at my job, just because, it was only 2 people that were able to work on this one piece, and it was just, it was like as big as a building. So it was kind of one of those things where you had to take precautions in order to not have that recurring injury kind of thing.
Yeah, I have a recurring injury all the time with my shoulders because it's called chronic wheelchair use is the new term.
Huh.
Oh, like the movement with your... I got you.
Yep.
Anything repetitive will wear down those joints and all that.
Yeah, all the sports and everything I used to play when I was a kid has come back to bite me.
Yep. And then if you don't take your time with it, you're basically back at square one with it, and you got to start it all over again. So there's like rehab and all sorts of stuff and just to avoid surgery, some people have to have surgery, and he just might have let it go to where it eventually needed surgery and they couldn't do rehab with it. It's what it sounded like. Because I don't think he even said anything about rehab until after he had the surgery. Yeah. But they're not going to give you a list and say like, here you go, you check all the boxes, you're cleared. There's obviously a reason. And for it to be 6 months, who knows? Because you think if it was something verifiable, it would have been verified ASAP. And this wouldn't even be a question 6 months from now. So I think that's why you got this reaction from Vinny, because he's like, wait a minute, it's been this long?
Yeah, something.
And you're still not cleared? And the rest of the stuff that these people are going to say is very interesting.
I don't know at this point, did he get his electronics back before this interview, or?
As far as I know, he hasn't got them back.
So I heard somewhere that he had got them back, but I didn't know if it was true or not.
Is that true, you guys?
Yeah, for real, is that true?
Yeah, I didn't know if anybody in chat might know.
I hadn't heard that, but I'm not sure. Let us know.
In this case.
Good possibility. But what more do you want from me? I was at work. I was video camera from 6 p.m. till after 7 a.m. the next morning. You know, my son should be with me right now. He should be in this house, and I should not be looking for him. Tell me where I don't gain anything from this.
Tiffany says, got him back scrubbed.
That's weird.
They typically, man,
that's weird.
I'm just feeling like there's this video. Ever since our searches were done, I just have this feeling it has to do with video games and.
Yeah, it's a good possibility.
And him being taken from his front yard.
There's not enough information to say one scenario or another yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a good possibility.
This is not.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of right now with what's there and what's not.
Movement outside the house with the flashlights.
Maybe that was, I don't know. Maybe that was to walk. Who knows? Maybe that was to walk that path.
Yeah. It kind of goes that way.
Right? Maybe it was to walk that path where he wouldn't have been caught on surveillance. But that would mean somebody would have had to have been scoping out the security of the neighborhood, area. You know? Maybe that's why there was possibly a dog trail leading up through there over to the pond. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just feel like he would have been caught on surveillance going up through that direction.
I think he would have been on camera.
That flashlight video was too confusing for me to try to figure out.
If you look at it when it's not zoomed in, it's pretty easy to follow. When it's zoomed in, it makes it a cluster.
Yeah. I think most of the time I've seen it is zoomed in.
Yeah, I just now seen the one that's where everything is just full frame, and I'm like, well, that makes more sense.
We'll have to look at that again on the next episode. I know Kaylee, I'll have to look for the video. I know that she had like a really good breakdown of the whole video. It did like a couple different versions of it, zoomed in and enhanced and all that stuff. So I'll have to I'll have to look for those, and we'll have to go through the flashlight stuff on the next.
Yeah, that way we can break it down.
Yeah, the next episode. I'll have to look for those, and I'll get them ready for the next one. I do need to look at those again. It's been a long time since I've seen those too. It's been months.
This is not funny. You know, the fact is I'm looking for my son. He's not here. Y'all took my electronics. What more do you want? I mean, do they need my bank records? I mean, you can have them. I mean,
Vinny.
I don't understand what I have to do to get cleared.
We're willing to do anything to get it cleared, Vinny.
Go ahead, Tony.
There are resources.
Yeah, we're willing to do anything to work with them to get him cleared, because it does allow us to bring in more resources once he's clear. And you know, if the video evidence, the phone data, and whatever else they may need isn't enough, then we'd simply like us to tell them, you know, why is it that he hasn't been cleared? He did a polygraph test with a well-known FBI polygrapher that Nancy Grace set up, and he passed that with flying colors. So, you know,
we're out of time, unfortunately. Tony, I'm sorry I have to cut you off there. We're out of time, but thank you both for joining us. We'll still look for those answers.
They're like, he's like, I gotta get off here.
He started playing the music.
Like, its time is up, fellas.
You just cut him off. This is Vinny's show. Vinny don't have a commercial unless Vinny wants to. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he wanted out of there ASAP, didn't he?
Investigation continues.
Blame it on the producer.
I'm Vinny Politan. Our investigation into the disappearance of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers from his home in Tennessee continues. The circumstance.
That was Vinny's phone. That was probably Seth or Tony. Yeah. Like, what the hell, man? Listen to his phone again.
I'm Vinny Politan. Our investigation into the disappearance of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers from his home in Tennessee continues. The circumstances surrounding this disappearance, though, really raise a lot of questions that need to be answered. Here's more of his story. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers seemingly disappeared without a trace from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, where he was living with his mom and stepdad. His mom said he went to bed, and in the morning, he was nowhere to be found. Investigators reportedly have no suspects, no leads, and no evidence of what happened to Sebastian. How is that possible? Where is Sebastian? This is a case that's been very short on evidence, but an audio recording has been circulating online that sounds like it could be a radio transmission from a canine handler during the search for Sebastian. Now, the speaker on this audio references several places near Sebastian's home, like the construction site.
That's what I want to get the flashlight stuff, and I want to go back over what he's talking about right now when it comes to the neighborhood and the dispatch and all the chatter that was going on. So those are two things that I'm going to look for for the next episode.
Overlay the two.
We'll figure something out, because then I might even have like a bird's eye of the neighborhood, and just so we can kind of go along with what they're saying.
Break it down.
Yeah.
Put everything together.
Yeah, I think that'd be good to have the flashlight and the canine stuff together. So if you guys have that, send it to me, evilcj@gmail.com, and we'll go into that on the next one that we have for Sebastian here soon.
Site, the cemetery, and the retention pond. The link to this audio file was uploaded to Twitter by SF Investigates, but it's unclear where the recording came from originally.
Nice big track back up, going into the construction site over here, back towards the beach. The one behind you. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on. Dang it, this is all dry, hard packed. Outside report. LT, we're now headed back south towards the cemetery on the far end of the construction site. That's boy, I can see. I do have some footprints over here. Right there where you're standing. Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond. No shoes, just footprints. The shoes that Max went straight into the pond. He literally dove into it.
So if you've got the canines taking the handler somewhere, what exactly does that mean? It brings me to our next question in this investigation, which is, did Sebastian walk away? Did he walk away? Just leave home for whatever reason? To try to answer this question, let's bring in our experts, relationship trauma expert, psychotherapist, and CEO of Life Counseling Solutions, Dr. Janie Lacey is with me. Also joining me, former homicide detective and host of The Interview Room with Chris McDonough. Chris McDonough is with us as well. Great to see you both. Chris, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts about this recording and the thoughts of the canines and their handlers following some scent somewhere?
Well, first of all, Vinny, the recording in of itself, and I was a dog handler from 1986 to 1989. And when a dog is on a track like that, is he picking up the scent of the boy headed towards that pond? Is that a possibility? Absolutely. It could be a possibility. So the investigation then would have to shift into, the water resources in relationship to that pond to make sure they've checked that box.
Let me ask you, Dr. Jenny Lacey, this is a 15-year-old child with autism. We're asking the question, did Sebastian walk away? How do you analyze that issue, knowing a little bit about Sebastian, not a whole lot, but we know he's a child with autism. He's able to do things. He goes to school. He's still a teenager, and he has those teenage issues as well. A little bit of friction at home with mom. What are your thoughts about the prospects and trying to figure out whether or not this child with autism at age 15 would simply walk away from home?
Well, my thoughts, Vinny, would be we would want to collect as much past history as possible. So what was his normal habits? What were any circumstances where he would do things that would be out of his normal pattern? Who were the people who had the most access to him, and what would be some of their impressions, observations, if he tend to have normal habits, if he tend to have repetitive habits. So those would be some of the collection points that we would want to understand, the observations, what was his habits, what were the things that people reported that was any type of strange behavior, because we know that past behavior can predict future behavior. So we want to look at some of those kind of pieces to see if the possibility for him to just walk out of his home and to some of these areas would be likely based off of his past indications of behavior or past observations from those that had access to him.
All right, Chris, from your perspective, trying to put together pieces and trying to figure out, did he or did he not just simply walk away from his home? What are some of the things that you're looking for, and what are some of the things that have been revealed that would be significant in trying to answer that question?
Well, the first thing, Vinny, is whenever a child goes missing, you have about 3 hours from a law enforcement perspective to react. And that means, shut the scene down, shut the house down, because, statistically across this country, there's what they call the victim risk continuum. And the lower the risk, the higher the probability that there was, some type of cross germination to either a suspect and or, a risk activity that put the child in jeopardy. Let's use Elizabeth Smart for an example. She's sleeping in her room. All of a sudden, she disappears out of her house. But her sister remembered that it could have been the handyman. This was months later. So that showed that the investigation stayed at the home. In this particular case, you have mom who says, I saw him go to bed. I heard a thump. I went to bed. I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's gone. Well, children just don't vanish. So what are the probabilities, based on what the doc just said, that that could be reality? So as an investigation, you want to start in the house. You want to start with everybody in the house, everybody related to the house, and then search the neighborhood. And you'll be surprised with today's technology how the circle gets smaller, smaller, and smaller. So those are a couple of things that I think this investigation started, and it looks like they did a pretty good job based on the filming that I've seen.
Now, Sebastian's dad joined the Pascal Show on YouTube and discussed what law enforcement's dog handlers told him about the search for Sebastian.
One dog followed a scent out into a construction site and then it disappeared. Could you maybe expand on that or explain a little bit more about that?
One of the dog handlers told me first day,
wow,
Monday, that the dog popped to a trail and they followed it and went all the way around and it ended in a construction site, but it ended. It's like there was nothing there.
Right. And that's a little odd. Right?
Okay, I'm gonna rewind that again here. Hold on.
Sebastian.
One dog followed a scent out into a construction site and then it disappeared. Could you maybe expand on that or explain a little bit more about that?
One of the dog handlers told me first day,
wow,
Monday, that the dog popped to a trail and they followed it and went all the way around and it ended in a construction site, but it ended. It's like there was nothing there.
Right.
Okay, I don't understand.
Usually when go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, man.
No,
I don't understand.
Usually with the dog's tracking and they just stop, it means the person got in a car.
Yeah.
Typically, unless there's like water right there or something. But with water though, it'll hold scent. But normally, like we've done training before concrete. If the dog's tracking on concrete and then goes and then it just stops, typically they got in a vehicle. But that's a pretty close track, so I don't know.
Well, it makes me wonder what trail was he talking about too.
Yeah, and what dog handler he's talking to.
You know? Right.
It's like we kind of keep getting more little cookie crumbs here and there.
Mm-hmm.
My big problem with the whole thing is that law enforcement's telling people a lot of stuff during this investigation. You just got Seth saying the dog handler told him such and such.
First day.
CP says that law enforcement told him such and such, and then law enforcement let some kid follow them during the track. It's so messy.
I'd have to know what trail.
It's just
there's multiple trails.
It makes me wonder if it was through the back neighborhood. Have I seen the interview with the neighbor? No, I did not.
There's a couple different trails or tracks or however you want to say it, but which one and which dog handler or which dog, we have no idea.
I think I heard they exited the house and went to the right side of the house.
Yeah, what was it saying in the interview, Teresa? Sorry.
There was like 6 tracks or 5 or 6 tracks. Like day 1, 2, and 3.
Well, then how was he not caught on surveillance?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
but
what the whole thing.
Law changed. the law changed at that point because by that time, people don't have to give it to you. Before, you could go request it and they'd have to hand it over. Now, since last summer, it's a law in most states where if they don't have your permission, they don't have any right to collect it.
Well, most people would do the right damn thing, but
I mean, who knows? Maybe somebody was just bored and didn't feel like looking through.
that's kind of how I feel. I don't know.
I don't
A lot
know.
of speculation.
A lot of it.
You just don't know like what direction to go.
Yeah, we
Since the
still
first
have
day.
Yeah, just it's the same outcome since day one. Literally, like this information is kind of all the same, and then it's like what direction do you go? Because you get law enforcement saying one thing, and then you have everybody else like. Anyway, there was
That's
clearly
what I
tracks. Like
say.
the dogs tracked on something. 5 different dogs. I mean, we have the map. We've looked at that. You can see the trails. So, and then you got other people saying that there was no track, and I'm like, well, bro, there's like 6 different tracks.
right.
And then you got no one on camera, but then you have the flashlight video. It's just like flipping a coin.
Things contradict each other, and
Exactly.
none of it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a freaking mess. I mean, that's the reason why I say, you know, all the scenarios are still on the table because
Exactly.
there's not enough pointing in one direction or the other.
Just need it.
You know, I'm just it's
Like,
aggravating shit.
I still feel like there's something to do with him just. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to listen to that dispatch stuff with the flashlights. And we'll check out that neighbor interview on the next episode too. Teresa says that JLR's neighbor talked about it as well. So we'll have to check that one. I haven't watched that one. Teresa, let me know, like, or I can look it up and try and find it.
And that's a little odd, right?
Leads me to believe that, well, if it ends, normally the sin ends when you stop traveling on foot. From my understanding, that would mean that he got into a car.
Okay, let's follow up on that, Dr. Janie Lacey. If he ends up in a car, to me that means he would have been lured out of that house in the middle of the night. What are your thoughts about the prospects of that? Someone like Sebastian, right? He has some special needs. He's a child with autism, being lured by someone, perhaps someone from online, and bypassing, not telling his mother, not telling his father, and being able to walk out of that house. What do you think it would take to lure Sebastian out of that home?
Well, we would want to consider his normal patterns of behavior, including who he had normal conversations with. Was he playing online, on games and speaking with people he became familiar with? So we would want to look at that familiar patterns for him. And if potentially, as we know, a lot of teenagers do play games online and have online friends. So we would want to investigate and look at who was he regularly talking to or who he encountered, because based off of that information, if he potentially was lured and he got into a vehicle, we would probably want to make some assumptions that there probably was some familiarity, and unless there's some evidence of struggle, which it doesn't sound like there is. So
That's exactly what I'm saying. When it just breaks it all down and you see what's there and what's not there and how long it's been, that's what speaks to me right there. And just because, like I said 2 hours ago, just because you locked your stuff down doesn't mean that there's not ways around it. On both sides.
Exactly.
Whether it's for a predator or a child playing a game you shouldn't be playing. Either one. And these people are telling you got Chris McDonough, you got this lady saying it. I mean, it's just, was I saying this 6 months ago? No. Was I saying it 5 months ago? No. 4 months ago, I started to think it.
And just
And
think outside the box and things kind of start clicking in your head, like logically.
Right.
And what's to take me away from that? Nothing. In fact, time just brings me closer to it. That's why I'm at the point where I feel like that's what took place anymore.
Yeah, it's like when it was Katie mentioned that Sebastian would go to his old school when he was upset on an interview. And then that was never talked about again. So it's one of the things that I've been thinking in my mind too, is that path between his house and his old school. There's a lot of people that travel up and down that road.
Yeah, but there would be a scent.
Exactly.
There'd be a scent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen dogs. I don't know. I've seen dogs mess up before, as far as not getting the scent when the person was not even a half mile in the woods.
Mm.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, that was in Buckner, Illinois.
Yeah, because it's up to the dog handler too to be properly trained as well.
That way, someone must like fact check me. I mean, dogs are human too, if that makes sense.
Right.
Right.
Like, yes, they're very smart, and yes, their nose is very strong, but
yeah, but when it just stops,
I think the dogs really did scent on something or hit on something. Like water carries scent, but
right.
Then he's not on camera. But then you got the flashlight video.
I mean, then we've heard that one of the dogs jumped in the water, and then we've also heard that none of the dogs got a hit too.
Yeah, that's what law enforcement was trying to like backtrack and say. And I'm like, you know what? Let's get all the dog handlers on here. Tell me what your dog did, because you know when your dog is like laying down a track, like the dog was going to pull you until they find the end of that scent or the person they're looking for or whatever they're looking for.
That would be cool if we could, but probably can't.
Because they're speaking for the canine handlers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the best person to talk to is the canine handlers, in my opinion. I mean, they were there. They're the ones on the ground. I mean, we got the tracks. You can see which I don't know if they would have had that on whenever they initially went to the house.
Well, and here's the thing, too. Yoli brings up a good point. He's 15 and going through puberty. We heard stories from his mom on how he fought her using deodorant.
I don't know about that. I know, like, say he had say he had a sibling in the house and they, like, slept in the same room or something. That would sometimes confuse the dog because they smell so similar. Obviously, you have different scents, but if you live together and you have the same, like, blankets, clothing, and all that rubbing up, you know what I mean? The dog might get confused as far as like two different kids if they lived together. But he lived by himself.
Yeah, and Chris's daughter rarely came, and when she did, Sebastian was usually at his dad's. But think about this though, and Yoli brought up a good point. Like, you have a child that doesn't like using deodorant. You have to fight with them to use it. That is a scent in its own, and a strong scent at that.
Oh yeah.
So I would think that the dog would be able to pick up on the scent even more.
I think the only question I have for if I could just talk to one of the canine handlers that were there, did you use a scent article of Sebastian's? Whether it was a shoe, his bedroom, a pillow, a straw.
That's another thing we don't know.
Something he drank off of. Was it
a T-shirt in the
in the
hamper?
Did they use a scent article for the dog to hit off of and then go, or was it just a search? That would be my biggest question.
If it was a T-shirt that was in the hamper, was everybody else's clothes in the hamper too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like say Busby said, you took a drink of your soda and you set it in your car, and then 2 hours later, I'm like, "Where's Busby?" Certain dogs, the handler can get the dog to hit off of the your soda can or like a straw or your seat, and then find you.
Right.
It just depends how they're trained. It sounds like there's a lot of variables in that, but I would love to talk to one of the canine handlers and go from there, because that would kind of, in the back of my head, confirm if he made it. One, if he made it back to the house, and then two, if there was a track, like an actual track that was based off a scent article, and then that track just stopped, then that would just kind of.
I'd like to know the track. I'd like to know the track.
Which one that they said was?
Where did he walk through? Like the path that he supposedly, and maybe they go through it in the canine dispatch.
I believe they do.
Because I got the footage of the neighborhood, so I could literally go back to my footage, cross check it, and see who's bullshitting.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll see who's bullshit. Because I'm sorry, if he walked on any of those roads, he was getting picked up from a camera. In the trees, in the backyards, no. But then that person would have to know the neighborhood. And who knows, maybe if they were going to do this, they went there and okay, here, I can be right here. All right, come on, buddy, follow me this way, And then, like they said, if it was something like that, then it would be somebody that would be close, he would trust. And who does that go to? The classmates, your family, and the people you have contact with on video games.
Exactly.
And who are you you're gonna trust your daddy's friends, aren't you? Yeah, I don't know. I just
It's
this
maddening.
video game stuff, man.
It's maddening. This case is just. That's why I had to take a break from it for a little while, because I was getting too involved. It's like we were talking about. Don't get too close to the families or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, it'll make you lose sleep. It'll make you have nightmares if you just get into it too much.
No, with any of these, man. That's why it takes special individuals to be able to do this stuff, whether it's the shows or going out there on location. It takes certain individuals to be able to to handle all that. You have to compartmentalize a lot of stuff, just so you can remain focused.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, the things that they're saying here. It just, I keep feeling video game, and he knew them.
Oh, it's very interesting.
Now, the possibly no shoes, that's something that.
Yeah.
Why now? Why now? It's the first time, so I don't understand that.
Add more chaos, I guess.
Or maybe I don't know. Maybe you're going off. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. Like, that means that you're going off of somebody else's word if you're going to change it. It's not speaking on accident because it's the same thing you tell everybody, it seemed like.
Right.
I don't know. It just, something's. Because even if they told you, in the beginning, yeah, the shoes were accounted for. Why 6 months later, possibly no shoes? It doesn't make sense, man. Because it's not like they're going to be like, yeah, well, we told you this back then, and here's the new update. Possibly no shoes. That doesn't make sense either. You know what I'm saying? So it's either like you were just trying to agree with what Katie was telling you, or what Chris was telling you.
Possibly he got
just
new information.
But they say they haven't heard anything from the first day. We've had no updates. You hear Tony say the same thing. We would like it if they would at least tell us what's going on here. What updates are up to today? Like, dude, they're not going to make shit up. Hey,
Exactly.
guess what? Yeah. Hey, guess what? No, they're not going to make it up. So if there's no update, it means there's no freaking update. But to me, there is an update now. The update is possibly no shoes.
Exactly.
And that's going to be a topic of conversation from this point on now. Possibly no shoes.
Definitely.
Not that it leads you in any other direction, but what it does show you is this is what is reported as factual timeline.
Yeah,
part
6
of
months later, it
Yeah.
messes up everything.
Part of the
I
investigation.
mean, it was still cold as shit that night from all the information I've gathered. But if he had shoes on, he could get farther than without shoes.
Yeah, a lot farther.
But there'd still be a sign.
Yeah. There would be. I mean, what if there's a lot of things that went wrong in the search? What if the dog did screw up that day? What if he actually did have shoes on? What if there was a scent, but the dogs didn't
Well, you
catch
would still leave a scent because all the skin cells are just flying off your body as you're walking. It's not going to be as strong as your foot in the grass, but you're still going to have a scent.
But like what I'm saying, like Trey said, he stated that, he's seen a dog or heard about a dog that, messed up. They're putting
Yeah, it's just like comes back to training though. I've seen like multiple dogs do the same thing.
They're putting too much belief or trust in that one thing for some reason, in my opinion.
I honestly think it was, yeah.
It's part of the investigation.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be one way or the other. It should be this is what happened or didn't happen, and then that's the way it is the rest of eternity.
I honestly think, in my opinion, law enforcement didn't find Sebastian with the dogs, so they redacted and said that there was no scent. That's my opinion. I think, well, the dogs must have messed up and there was just nothing. I'm like, your dogs aren't going to go crazy for nothing. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. And then there are cameras.
Very
anyway, you guys really have to look at this map, the full map, and just try to break it down.
It could have been a dog handler that was jumping the gun. You know what I'm saying? It could have been his first freaking day taking the pup out there for a real investigation. And he's like, oh, I think we got a hit. But he doesn't even understand what the dog's doing. And maybe he was just sniffing around. And
I don't
just
know the
died.
dog.
I mean, yeah, you almost have to like know the credentials of the officer.
And the dog.
I mean, not necessarily the dog, because if the dog is out there, it probably already has its credentials protocol. I'm saying the officer itself. What is your credentials when it comes to dog handling? What's your experience? Your history with it. Because think about it. It could have been that maybe that's why they came out and redacted and said, well, there wasn't no hit, because they're like, geez, Jimmy, look, man, like you got to have better control and know what the hell like misinterpreted what the dog was doing, because maybe that person wasn't properly qualified or whatever.
I mean,
because
this is a high profile case. Everything matters.
I mean, think if the dog's like, if you just take your dog out, right? You just take your dog out and it's sniffing around and it's sniffing to go 1 or 2. But, you're just taking it out and you're like, damn, that to you right there could be like, damn, what's he following? What trails is he following here? And that's just a regular dog.
My dog wouldn't be able to find his house if I took him outside.
No, not to find anything. I'm just saying, if you take your dog out there and it's smelling and it's, walking and smelling, and that right there to an untrained individual could be a hit.
Exactly.
Well, there's a big difference though when a dog's working versus messing around. Like it's almost like a football player in a sense.
Well, yeah, they're like totally focused.
Yeah.
But we know how they work. Who says that this officer was sufficient in that?
I don't know anything about the officer or the dog.
I'd like to know who it was and what the credentials are when it comes to the dog handling, because I don't think a dog is the chances of them dogs messing up is very slim. The chances of an officer effing up is the probability is huge.
Is way more than the dog.
Right. That's why I'm like I feel like if it was a fake hit, because we heard about the fake hit when I was searching for Riley.
Oh, yeah.
Before Riley, it was the day Riley, or no, the morning after. It was when I was doing that video on the bank when people were reaching out to me about the dog hit. I remember commenting on one of the videos. Oh, I guess they found a patch of dirt that got hit on. That was fake too. So again, like, who says it's not the same person?
Right.
Definitely could be. Lacosta's got a question for you. Are you comfortable with the retention pond search? You don't think he could be in that pond? I don't know, dude. You went through it pretty
He's not
thoroughly.
in the pond.
Yeah.
He's both ponds. He's 100,000,000% not in there unless someone. No, he's not in there.
You can watch the video. You can see him scale that whole pond too.
Well, there's both ponds.
Do you have it on your channel? I know I got it on mine.
I actually think that's on an unspoken person's channel.
Oh, okay.
I've got
I'll give you a copy of mine if you want it, dude. Because it's just you. It's just you. So, and it's got me talking in it or whatever. But
yeah,
because I didn't live, CJ. I've got a little bitty video of him. You know, the 45-second one.
No, I got 2 videos of it. It's like 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, but we were there for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
And
I'll drop it for you. Man. Yeah, I think it was pretty thoroughly searched.
No, dude, it was more than thoroughly searched. It was searched. He ain't in there. Either one.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely check that out next show, Teresa. We're going to be having some more shows here soon because we're going to be doing a lot of work on a bunch of different cases here. So we will be having more Sebastian, more Idaho, more Micah, and some other ones as well. The interview was so good. Yeah, we'll have to check that out on the next one. I already got a list for the next show. We already got that. All right, we'll finish this one up here.
I would be looking at his attachments or his familiar patterns when it comes to people he was commonly communicating with, playing games with, or just potentially who he would consider friends. And a lot of teens consider people they meet online as friends. So that would be a path that we would want to follow.
I want to take a listen to what his dad told me on a previous program about Sebastian just walking out of the house.
It doesn't seem like my son at all. He would never leave my house in the middle of the night barefoot. And if he did, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. You know, we've left in the middle of the night. There's been times that we've gone fishing in the middle of the night. You know, we plan that sort of stuff. But him walking out the door in the middle of the night, no. It's not something he would do. It's something he's never done on me.
Chris, for him to walk out in the middle of the night, I think it would take him to be lured by someone. And if that's the case, there would seemingly be some digital trail and perhaps a physical trail of that.
Yeah, absolutely, Vinny. And you're 1,000% correct in this. And that digital footprint by this point, you know, we're almost 6 months into this. And let's also take into consideration, we have a child on the spectrum scale. He's on medication. So, you know, if he's lured out of that house, then, you know, the suspect is taking a risk, number one. within a very short period of time, if the victim starts to have withdrawals or anything on that medication, that's a huge problem to manage if you've just kidnapped this child. The second piece of this, to that digital footprint question, is if the authorities have looked at that digital footprint and said, okay, it just doesn't exist, then you have to go back to the house and you have to start looking at all of what we call the victimology of each and every individual that is in that home or had access to that home, and then start dissecting this case from there.
All right, our guests are staying with us. When we come back, have to ask another question, and this is a tough one. Will Sebastian ever be found?
There is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out?
We're not ruling anything out.
One of the most successful true crime TV shows ever.
This is crazy. Because there's no evidence for anything. All right, let's get back to this. Sorry about that commercial there.
TV. Join CourtTV's Vinny Politan with the latest and breaking true crime stories.
Now, let's look at the other side of all of that.
Vinny Politan Investigates. Weeknights, 9/8 Central. Only on CourtTV.
I'm not part of the investigation, and they don't have to let me know anything, which they don't let me know anything. I'm in law enforcement myself, so I've got to trust the procedure. I got to trust that if everything is followed by the procedure and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, that there'll be a positive outcome and my son will be found. I don't understand. They haven't came up with anything. Why they're not asking for higher powers to help.
A level of frustration. I think you heard it there from Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers. Communication with law enforcement, but law enforcement in this case, where are they in the investigation? What evidence is there? I want to go back and take a listen to one of the original press conferences in this case right after Sebastian went missing. And at these press conferences, a lot of times you'll hear different things. Sometimes they'll show you a photo of a car that they're looking for or something else. Listen closely to what they did say.
There is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out?
We're not ruling anything out.
At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved. But we are keeping options open. We don't know what has happened. We don't know where Sebastian is right now. So we are pursuing any and all avenues.
No evidence of foul play. Like, you could end the sentence, I think, a little quicker. Like, no evidence is what they're saying. A 15-year-old boy disappears. No evidence. Brings me to my final question. This is a tough one. Will Sebastian ever be found? If you've got no evidence, how do you find him? Let me bring back in my guests. Still with us, Dr. Janie Lacey and Chris McDonough. Dr. Janie Lacey, I'm going to start with you first, which is the toll that this takes on a family, on a father, when you're not getting communication from the people who are in charge of finding your missing son, and you hear the words, no evidence. How much more difficult does that make all of this?
Well, there's no doubt that Dad has lots of frustration. There's probably a lot of unanswered questions, and just the unknown factor can continue to stress out someone's body, his body, where he's probably up at night, ruminating, constantly thinking back his last conversations and just replaying everything, the anxiety, right, the fear. But what I also heard in his interview with you is his hope and him staying focused and him not giving up and him continuing to use his own resources and hiring a private investigator, those types of things, as long as he's staying focused on his hope and knowing that his son is out there, that alone is going to keep his drive there. But we know that the support that he needs, the resources that he needs, and to continue to keep this story and his son front and center can provide some hope and some relief as far as that he's not alone in this journey to find his precious Sebastian.
Chris McDonough, you have so much experience in this area. Give us the honest answer right now on where you are based upon what we know and what we've heard in this case. Will Sebastian ever be found?
You know, Vinny, I have hope like you and everyone else that's a possibility. Statistically, 6 months into this, unless he did walk out that door on his own accord, that possibility, gets lower and lower. One of the things I would love to see the investigation do is take that shift in relationship to father, the biological father, Seth. If he's at work, they have him on video, if his truck's on video, et cetera, and they can verify and know that's a possibility, then tell the public. Okay? You have to tell the public what your steps are so that if you think of a gigantic puzzle of, let's say, the Statue of Liberty, and you're missing 5 or 6 pieces, the public will fill in that extra piece, okay? Because right now, the public doesn't know. When they hear we have no evidence, the public wants to help. And that's who the investigation needs to focus on. Because again, if we go to just the fact this child needs medication, well, who's managing that medication on board? There's one other huge piece of evidence potentially why they may be keeping him in the circle. In the back neighborhood behind the house, there is, my understanding, a video of potentially a vehicle back there. And there may be, some connection to the house, to that vehicle. I don't know whose vehicle that is, but maybe the authorities are thinking, hey, did the father hire somebody, et cetera, to get the kid out of here because it's a custody problem? That's pure speculation at this point on my behalf. However, that would keep him in the circle and keep that minimal flow of information away from him if that was a possibility.
Now,
Okay, what? I gotta listen to that again.
Oh no, I get it.
Well,
I get what he's putting down.
Oops, sorry.
You're good, man. I gotta end up leaving here in a minute for work, but I understand what the guy's putting down. He's basically saying he can't be ruled out due to the fact, not the fact, but it's pure speculation. The possible vehicle sitting outside the house, which I thought that's what I had seen.
Yeah.
And then if he had hired someone, well, the whole custody battle thing I didn't get that part, but if he had anything to do with Sebastian missing, then due to that, he wouldn't have been ruled out. He'd still be a suspect. Just a probability, if that was a thing, is what he was trying to say.
Yeah, but if you're at work.
Yeah, but it just meant if he had someone do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a pretty
bold.
That's a far reach.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I
understand what he's saying. It's just a probability or a possibility. That's why he's still a suspect. But I still bank off the electronics.
Yeah,
that sounds more plausible than I'm going to have my kid yada yada by somebody else. That makes no sense.
Yeah. It just seems like it'd be a humongous reach as an investigator. And
that part's a big reach.
I mean, come on, that could be literally in every missing child's case. But the parents get cleared, especially if they're at work.
That dude was a homicide investigator, though, so he went there. It's kind of where his brain went based off of his experience. Probably more or less with or spouses.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta hear this again. And we'll end it here in a few, y'all.
Experience in this area. Give us the honest answer right now on where you are based upon what we know and what we've heard in this case. Will Sebastian ever be found?
You know, Vinny, I have hope like you and everyone else that's a possibility. Statistically, 6 months into this, unless he did walk out that door on his own accord, that possibility, gets lower and lower. One of the things I would love to see the investigation do is take that shift in relationship to father, the biological father, Seth. If he's at work, they have him on video, if his truck's on video, et cetera, and they can verify and know that's a possibility, then tell the public. Okay? You have to tell the public what your steps are so that if you think of a gigantic puzzle of, let's say, the Statue of Liberty, and you're missing 5 or 6 pieces, the public will fill in that extra piece, okay? Because right now, the public doesn't know. When they hear we have no evidence, the public wants to help. And that's who the investigation needs to focus on. Because again, if we go to just the fact this child needs medication, well, who's managing that medication on board? There's one other huge piece of evidence potentially why they may be keeping him in the circle. In the back neighborhood behind the house, there is, my understanding, a video of potentially a vehicle back there. And there may be, some connection to the house, to that vehicle. I don't know whose vehicle that is, but maybe the authorities are thinking, hey, did the father hire somebody, et cetera, to get the kid out of here because it's a custody problem? That's pure speculation at this point on my behalf. However, that would keep him in the circle and keep that minimal flow of information away from him if that was a possibility.
Now, at one point
or be the dude from the video games, and they don't want to tip off Seth because it might be somebody that he, quote, trusted.
Exactly.
Hello.
Yeah, I think that's a...
Hello.
Good probability. Not getting the electronics back.
Well, and even if they're scrubbed, they're not going to tell Seth, hey, man.
No.
We think he was lured from video games.
Well,
oh, my gosh, Jimmy. Did you hear this?
If there was nothing on it, I don't think they would have scrubbed him. But it's also weird that that's floating around, because if they had to scrub him because there was something on it, they wouldn't give it back due to the chain of custody. That doesn't make any sense either.
Dude, I'm just... but it's like every day that goes by, I get closer to this video game theory, man. Just like I said, hey,
very
I'm gonna come by.
I'm
gonna come by Sunday night. I'll knock on your window when I'm there, right?
It's a very plausible theory.
The same scenario I've been saying. It's the same thing. The video game
that would make more sense, CJ. Like what you're putting down, that would make more sense. A little bit closer in the circle. Had communication. It was probably anyway. That would kind of make sense.
Parents, please monitor your children in their seriously. Like, these predators are out there like crazy, and they know kids play these games.
Damn.
I just really feel like oh man, I hate to. It's because because it could be one of these things. These people on the dark web probably pay extra for children that have disabilities.
There's no. If you watch the thing, there's no discrimination in, typically it's younger, more vulnerable people that they go upon or look for.
And more disturbing yet, I just checked, and there's 3 more people on the registry.
Jeez.
How many were there again in Hendersonville, Busby?
What was it? 283. So now there's 286.
And what's the population?
62,000 and change.
Yeah, just like Yogi Bear's freaking mobile park camp. And you see all the SOs down there too.
Yeah, it's super.
That's on a video I took. I'm gonna be uploading that too. It's on a video I took. That's gonna be part of the new tier because I don't even know where it's at. It'll just pop up and you guys will see it. You'll see. I went out to Yogi Bear's. I was on footage. Hey, let's look up all the SOs and see if there's SOs because we saw kids walking around like it was a little city. We looked it up and I had the camera showing on my phone and you could see all of them just pop up.
Yeah.
It was gross.
Super disturbing.
Right. It's got to be these video games, man. Somebody from the video game was waiting down the road, probably knocked on his freaking window. Yay, I get to go excited, you know.
Kids are so trusting of other people.
Someone said you would see the messages in the extraction as on my chat.
No. There wouldn't have to be messages.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, like
maybe voice.
Like it could even be like it. They could have like, hey, when your dad's gone, you should get on and we should play, and I'll tell you, like you said, hey, just go offline.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying?
They could have been playing games, talking.
Right, and then that's just normal.
It didn't
stuff.
have to be typing.
Right, and it didn't even have to be anything that would, as far as Sebastian would know. It could be him. Hey, guess what? Since we play games and we're like doing it behind your dad's back, I'm gonna come knock on your fucking window.
We already know how much Sebastian loves animals. What if the person said, I have a new puppy, do you want to see it?
Oh wow. I didn't even think about that, man.
He would have just ran out the door.
Oh man. Wow. Oh man. I don't know, man. The more that we talk about all this together, the more, I don't know, all of this just makes sense. Okay, Rodney, I know how to game. I've been gaming since I was 6.
Oh, not to like disrespect. It just goes on and on, saying that they check. Yeah, they check the Uncle Taco's game history and all. Like, where's it at?
Yeah.
It's anyway, just random left field. There's no way that you'd be able to know that. You could look at see what game someone's playing based off their handle. That's about it.
Yeah, I've been flicking sticks since 6, man. Trust me, we're good.
You can't talk online without a headset. You got to join. That's what I got to go to work.
Yeah, man. We're gonna go. We'll go ahead and end the show
there.
anyway. Yeah, we'll go ahead and end the show anyway. Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you. Thank you all for hanging out in chat. Appreciate you. Thank you for your support. And like I said, I'll probably be coming out with a new tier here in a week or two. Dropping a whole bunch of old footage from the last 2 years and then some new stuff we're going to be having coming up for you. So thank you all for your support. Appreciate you. Have a peaceful, positive evening.
And watch for notifications.
Yes. Make sure the notifications is on all. Hit that bell. And we'll see you again on the next show. Appreciate y'all.
See y'all.
Have a great night.
You too, Busby.
3-3. Can you let a supervisor know that I have a case report over there?